time for the end. Man, to think that we've taken an entire month just to get through Killer 7. It's funny how that works out.
Yeah. It's like at one point we were like, oh, we're getting through this faster than we thought. No.
I mean, I'd say we're getting about through it as fast as we reasonably could have. It's just that we're only doing these once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we shot Turquoise Asian Man, Shinzo Abe #1 and #2, Afro, Creep, Super Sentai, and now Smile.
Well, mysteries will be uncovered here. Spoiler alert, none of them. Not a single one.
Yeah, that's about accurate. I can't really deny that.
None of them are probably going to wind up with more questions than we had before.
Yeah, such as, this guy.
Well, you know, he lived how he pleased.
Mm-hmm.
In a pool of blood. Wait.
More like a puddle. That dude actually was one of the informants that Garcia had met with, like, early on in the game during, like, the second half of Sunset. He's actually the one that, like, gives you the mission to kill Jean de Paul.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Don't know if I don't think I ever put that together.
Now, I think it's subtle enough just because, you know, the outfit is completely different between those two instances, but I think in terms of, like, the face or whatever, it's supposed to be him. Yeah. I guess it makes sense because, like, the whole idea behind that is that it's Matsuken that just decided to, like, kill him for whatever reason.
Now, you could argue that that's him making his move against the Killer 7.
Mm-hmm. That is some very sad pizza.
Pizza for breakfast?
I mean, pizza for breakfast ain't the problem. I think it's more a problem when it really does look like it's just cardboard that has stuff painted on it.
Oh, that ain't good.
Yeah. Well, see ya.
Great. Someone's gone and replaced Samantha with a real doll.
Oh, dear. God damn it, Harmon.
Check.
Another great scene, one that also uses is the second instance in which
this time,
one of my absolute favorite tracks from this soundtrack is used. Like, it's the same one that plays during, like, the first, like, cutscene confrontation between Kunlan and Harmon.
Why not? There once was a young man who had a promising future. The center-back position was his to keep, and no one could take that away from him. Any play was a fair play. No one blew the whistle on him. Everybody loved him. Not to mention his campus sweetheart. Ooh, she was something. They were the perfect couple. He graduated from Columbia with an MBA. His opportunity was infinite. He could do whatever he wanted with his life. But was he satisfied? No. Every night he would cry, begging the Lord. Something deep within needed awakening. Then one day it happened. That moment when the subconscious rises to the surface. Well, the way it triggered was very simple. It happened when his mother came onto him one night. As if the spirit of Jack the Ripper had taken over his body, he
this
stabbed
entire
and
story
stabbed
is
until
just...
he couldn't tell who she was. You know what
I can't
think?
remember exactly if, like, Chip and Ironicus, like, made this joke, because I feel like I would not be surprised if it was from them or somewhere else, but it does feel like that this could have easily swerved into, like, some last-minute aristocrats joke.
Good intentions.
That's like the only way I can really comprehend.
Had nothing to do.
Well, that's a heck of an
I must admit,
assassination
my
squad you've
memory
got there.
has
What do you
become a
call
bit
them?
misty these days.
The Killer 7. I don't get it. Neither do I.
Kind of, I think just putting it together there, the bit in No More Heroes, where they just speed through Jean's dialogue at the end.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was it. I wonder if that was as a result of that whole sequence there, because I remember it being a little bit fucked up.
I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like it was way more obvious in No More Heroes that they did that for comedic effect, whereas this game doesn't, and it has so many other screwed up moments.
Yeah. I know, because I mean, it covers much the same ground when you think about it.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, it has taboo familial relationships.
What's gonna happen?
To say the least.
Terrorism.
It's just that
Different
in
from the
this,
smiling
they're a bit
faces.
more,
It's
yep,
hard
so
to
this
predict the
happened.
kind of
Wasn't that
terrorism
wacky?
the panel engineered.
Yeah.
Terrorism using wit, most likely. Think they're capable of damage devastating enough to shake the foundation of the United States?
I need you to fly to Philly,
Just
right? A former
Get
aide to
more
the leader of the UN
cutscenes
party has
of trying to
information.
discuss
He goes by the
nature
name
of politics in the U.S. as
staying at
interpreted by
Union
someone that is
Hotel.
clearly
Now
not from
find
the
him.
U.S.
Who is it?
Kenjiro Matsuoka. He's the only
Like,
guy.
it's
By the
just-
way, check out my
belongs to
sweet
the UN
rocket car.
party. Now,
That I
he's
got
the
from
leader of
Clemens.
10 million secret Japanese members.
That's true, actually.
scattered around the
Handing
world.
Killer 7 actually, like,
He's a
confirms
major
that.
force.
10
Poor
million.
sweet,
What do
stupid
you think they're
Clemens.
capable of?
Yeah.
If they gathered in one state and organized their votes as one large
Like, this is the
block
part of the conversation I always
They
kind
could
of
win the
find
seat of a state.
especially silly,
It's
just
gonna
how it
be a
describes,
wild
like,
game,
what,
'cause everyone's
like,
gonna want a piece of
what
Matsuoka.
possible scheme, like, the disgruntled, like,
Master
Japanese
has
population would have, would, like,
Ah,
cook up
yeah,
against the United
Garci.
States after what happened in
About
Sunset.
that.
And the idea is, like, just get every Japanese U.S. citizen in one
need to tell
state
you
to
something
focus all
real
of their
important.
votes on a single candidate, and
ahead.
somehow
Lay it on.
that will be enough, even
Let's
though it's
see
like
here.
one state out
how
of
should
50.
So
Okay,
your villainous
30
master
years
plan
ago,
is
you and Harmon-
democracy? Oh, and bullets.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Mills.
Do you like the piece of music that plays here?
Yes.
Also, this is probably the most Garcian does in any one sequence.
Anything that is like physically exerting, absolutely.
Yeah. 'Cause otherwise, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
I'm strolling everywhere.
Strolling and talking in a cool voice because I'm Greg Eagles.
Yeah.
He's the DARPA chief Peter Stillman.
He killed his soul.
He's also one of the characters in Disaster Day of Crisis, who more or less just sounds like a Metal Gear character in that.
So that's one of those games I've always meant to play.
That is a game that I'm absolutely meaning to stream at some point. The problem is I don't know which version, because I have both the Japanese and European versions. There's actually a reason for that. There is some slight, like, change in naming and dialogue between the two of them, which seems weird considering that English is like the only voice acting in that game.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the Union, sir. How
So
many
the
nights
thought
have
that
And
you
they
stayed
then
with us?
there's this
Actually, I'm
asshole.
meeting someone.
Oh. Hello, Edo.
Oh, Mr. Smith. We've been
I trust you to
expecting
not slip any roofies
Top
into my
floor.
drinks
Please use the
this
elevator in
time.
back.
Yeah, it's fun to want things, isn't it?
I remember all the faces of our guests.
For the last
Even
time, I'm
your
not
badge,
taking
sir.
your offer up on visiting Lost Pass, please.
Last time I stayed there, it felt like it took forever. Never even got my goddamn breakfast.
Never got my breakfast. You did nothing about the asshole kid that just kept, like, saying awful fourth wall breaking shit to me. Like,
And what the fuck was up with a crocodile?
Hey, that crocodile's legit, man.
I know, it's just, why was it pink?
Later.
Who knows?
Later.
So the gang's all here.
Yeah, we don't have to kill any smiles this chapter in order to unlock them. And of course, since Samantha's technically dead, we got Stewart in her place. Like so.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played it, was like, okay, so is his name actually Stewart? Because, you know, that would make sense in a roundabout way.
Oh yeah, Stuart Smith, that makes enough sense.
Yeah, and the strange thing is, like, I've not seen anything which says anything to the contrary, so yeah, I just assume his name is Stuart Smith.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and also the I was actually doing a bit of like a test playthrough of like this chapter like a couple days before, just to familiarize myself and also get in my head whether or not if there'd be some cool places to show off the different Smiths because of all the floors that we're going through. But one thing I realized is that like those purple smiles that come out of the like those birthing smiles, I unfortunately I realized that that they are not poison smiles. So like those times I was able to kill them with Mask's grenade launcher, that doesn't count.
Whoa!
Missed the counter. God damn it. As always. Ah, he was just... It's okay, still got plenty of blood vials. It's all good. Switching back to Coyote just so I have extra accuracy with the zoom in on this Camilla.
Hurts, doesn't it?
There we go. Oh man. This is like a fun level, all things considered, which is weird because I feel because of how this is pretty much like right near the end. It's the sort of thing where it's like it is the part of the game where it is now clearly like well past the point where it completely gave up on having any semblance of decent puzzles.
Yeah.
And it's just so much more focused on the action and that you have like you've put in so much like upgrades into all your Smiths already that it's like that you basically have a bit more room if you're feeling bold to just like use them all in different like areas and combinations for whatever reason.
Yeah, it kind of feels like they wanted to do the sort of Zelda final dungeon thing where you have to use everything.
Yeah, and they do to an extent, although I don't think there's like a laser in this. I don't think there's like a laser grid in this hotel that would require Kevin for that.
Yeah, I might be wrong because it's been a long time since I last played this, but
maybe in
I'm
the
fairly
school,
certain.
but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain. Like the last stage was one of the last times we need to use Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't remember any other laser puzzles. I said puzzles.
Well, yeah, like obstacles, I guess.
Obstructions, inconveniences.
True. Okay. And like for as much as it's clearly just a hotel, like the use of like the color palette is enough to really make each room, like every floor, have a very distinct vibe to it.
Oh yeah.
Did not get the right point.
Like I know, you know, that like there are some problems with the game. Primarily the fact that it's, you know, half finished basically. But some of the color choices that they use for the actual stages themselves are amazing.
Oh yeah, just the way they went about achieving this style, how it's basically like it's more than just like, you know, like regular cell shading. It's like it's deliberately low poly models with very distinct like breaks in like when the shading, where like each level of shadows occurs, combined with the environments just having like full-on gradients that aren't even mapped directly to the location of each like part of the geometry. Like it's basically a mask that is overlaid on top of a series of gradients that are like, so like it just creates like the effect that you've always seen.
And you know, we've said it a couple of times already, but this game visually still holds up, and it's probably one of the few from the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era that does.
Yeah, it's definitely the one that holds up most in terms of like going for a very stylized look to it.
Yeah, like the only other games I can think of that still look good from that era are like sprite-based games.
I mean, like I'd say a good example of games from this era that still look great would be like anything Team Ninja made on the Xbox. Because it's like,
again, as we've said, that's, you know, they keep pumping it out every every console generation, so you know, they know what worked.
Well, I think I mean that was just more like not even related specifically to like Ninja Gaiden, because they obviously put out Dead or Alive on there, but it's just like everything about like the way their games looked on that platform. Like it had that arcade Sega style like color contrast that I really appreciate, with fairly good amount of detail that was still noticeable even at like 480p, and games ran at 60 frames per second, which I maintain that like having really good frame rate contributes more to like how well a game looks than I feel people give it credit for, just because frame rate's something that you don't get from just a screenshot.
Yeah. I don't know, I've been kind of put off the the frame rate debate, simply because most of the people that inevitably wind up talking about it just sound like whiny, entitled babies.
Yeah.
You know, like this game it only runs at 40 FPS. That means it's garbage.
30.
No, 40. Because reasons.
I mean, I was trying to be serious for one and go, no, like, it's straight up, that's the whole point, is that it's 30 FPS, but, like, I know. I mean, like, the only problem I really have with that argument is when it gets to the point of people being like, 60 FPS is no longer good for them, just because of how, like, you know, with, like, the stuff on PC and the monitors we have now, you can get, like, 120 and beyond, and it's like...
Yeah.
I mean, I really still don't have that much of a problem with it. It's really more because like 30 FPS like by itself is, I'd say, like not as ideal for like what you could like have the game running at, and it obviously becomes way worse if the game is having other technical problems on top of it, like extra slowdown or frame pacing issues or micro stutters and all that. Like, there's a way to, like, make 30 FPS, like, quote, smooth, as much as that would seem like an oxymoron for a lot of people. But I think it's more like, at least with games like these, I'm more tolerant of the whole idea, just because it's like, if it's for an old game like this, that was, like, made a certain way based on what practices were at the time, it's like, that can't really be helped. Because, you know... whole lot of devs back then, and even a few that still do to this day, just like go, yeah, we're obviously gonna like tie our game logic to the frame rate. Why wouldn't we?
We're not thinking of what's gonna happen in 10 years when this game suddenly becomes impossible to play. Oh no.
Yeah. And it is unfortunate too, because like the one thing I appreciate about that method is that instead of having like dropped frames when something is like happening on screen that's too much for the game to handle at its intended frame rate, it just slows the game down. And sometimes, depending on the situation, the slow-mo can actually be like quite fun, especially if it's like player induced. But
well, I mean,
yeah.
there's been plenty of times obviously now that I'm thinking about it, I can't think of any off the top of my head. But in a lot of action games, when the screen starts slowing down, you're kind of like, if there's like lots of explosions going on, there's still a part of you that's like, oh yeah, I'm so badass, I killed the game.
Yeah, like that you kill the game in addition to getting like a brief moment to think a bit more about what your next move is gonna be and such.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a whole host of modern day shmups would be literally unplayable if they didn't program in slow-mo.
Yeah, like, yeah, in a weird way, that's kind of what you need to do for like those like type of games that are deeply rooted in like arcade design sensibilities.
Yeah, like there was I can't remember when it was. I think it might have been a year or two ago. There was a patch to reduce the slowdown in Gradius 3 and Super R-Type for the Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah, the SA1 chip hack. Yeah, I recall that. I recall seeing that for like a whole lot of games that were like getting that patched in, which I think is definitely cool for a lot of them. Some would definitely benefit from that, and I think there's a case where I at least recall with Super R-Type that it had way too much slowdown, not even in the context of stuff that would be like player induced, just that it just could not handle what IREM wanted that game to be.
Yeah, it was kind of a combination of not knowing how to use the system effectively and the fact that the games were very graphically intensive.
Yeah,
but
which becomes kind of a miracle that they were able to make R-Type 3 like as good as it was. And it was on the same platform.
R-Type 3, not as good as, say, Delta. But
oh, yeah.
In a way, it's kind of in a class of its own. But the problem was that people were like, oh, cool, now I can play this without any slowdown. And then when they went back and played it, they were like, oh, crap, this game's impossible now.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, and Super R-Type had the... I mean, Super R-Type, like, even aside from the slowdown, it had the other problem in that there were no mid-level checkpoints.
No. It was, like, I managed to go through stuff like Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, in one sitting. Both loops, when I was, like, 12 or 13. And I couldn't get through Super R-Type without playing it on an emulator with judicious use of save states.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that.
Like, that game is impossible, guys.
You're fucked.
Okay. Giving Coyote a bit of his time to shine here.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
I forget, is this his quote-unquote floor?
I don't think it is. No, it's not. There was actually a point where I was thinking that I was going to dedicate a smith to every single, to like its own floor based on like what puzzle or like challenge required it. But I found it was a bit difficult just because it was like, I think on Mask's floor, where there's something that like that requires him, there are poison smiles. And like, as I was talking about before, no, you cannot get around the poison smiles gimmicks with Mask. Like, you have to shoot the weak points, which his stuff is not able to do.
Yeah. The old joke goes, not so much a bullet with your name on it, more to whom it may concern.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was the save room. That, or like the Harmon room. That wasn't even the. Okay. No one down that corner. Okay, room 306. Yeah, gee, I can't imagine why you would like stick your hand into something like that.
Well, this is going to require all of my brain cell.
With Coyote's power of think. Nah, psych, we're just gonna cut the cord with Kevin. go back to Con for a little bit. And yeah, we're just like one more upgrade away from getting Coyote to level 4, so we'll be able to get to, and once that's done, I'll be able to start dumping points into Kevin, just because it's like, why not?
Well, he hasn't received any love so far.
Yeah, and like part of the practice run through of this that I was doing, I did spend a lot more time with Kevin than I had like prior, just to kind of get more used to like how his whole like, you know, how his stuff all works, you know. Because the thing that like you remember very quickly when playing as him, why you don't stick around with him as much, is that on the one hand, like, his knives have perfect accuracy. Like they're like, all the other characters have a waiver stat, which is like you obviously upgrade that in order to stop your gun from swinging so much. But Kevin doesn't have that, so that means, oh cool, he's always has pinpoint accuracy. Except the downside comes in that when you press the button, the knife doesn't come out immediately, because he is literally pulling out, grabbing the knife first and then throwing it. That's the thing that always like makes it difficult to really get used to him.
Yeah, that and the fact that his firing speed is low as fuck.
Yeah, the intervals in between are just nuts.
Yeah, his rate of fire absolutely sucks. And in a game, like, it's okay most of the time, but there's a lot of sections where you're being attacked by like 3 speedy dudes at once. And that can get you killed easily.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Like, yes, you know, he has perfect aim, but that kind of relies on you being able to hit the target in the first place.
Yeah, which this game, especially with like its original control scheme, is like not the easiest thing. So like, I imagine that if you're playing the PC version, like going with Kevin would just seem like a breeze. Because mouse aim all day, baby.
Easy mode activate.
Easy mode is now selectable. Funny enough, because this is a Capcom published game.
Keep going, see if you can unlock ultimate fucking pussy mode. One of the few Penny Arcade jokes I still remember.
That's a good one. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is the floor where you like need mask for this, I believe it is, but it's like, oh man, like the poison smiles being on this floor. Oh my goodness!
Never. Wow.
I have no idea how I got that. Holy shit!
I mean, like, you were still hitting them you were still hitting them, like, after the counter prompt should have come up.
Yeah, even though I'm not even sure you can get a counter prompt on that broken smile, just because, like, it's not even a regular humanoid.
It would be fun to see Mask try and do his counter on him, though.
Oh, yeah.
Just give him a backbreaker suplex.
Yeah, the counter and down attacks are so cool, even though I barely ever get them when I just play normally.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why risk it?
It's always hard to remember what the buttons are when you need them.
Mm-hmm. Or the timing, even.
Mm.
Also, there's a nice detail about that, because I went into this room with Khan. You get, like, if you listen to, like, the stream, like, there was, like, a whooshing sound coming from here, just because he has super hearing. When I switched the mask, like, the wind sound effect's no longer there. Again, I appreciate that they found other places than the opening bit in Alter Ego, where, like, the super hearing, like, really does, like, actually have a noticeable effect when playing as Khan.
Mm.
So yeah, getting a soul shell for every single floor of this hotel.
Yeah,
like,
all 7 floors. Interesting.
7, it's like an important number.
That is the happiest lamp I've ever seen.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about, like the poison smiles being on this floor. Like, you could not get past these as Mask. You just couldn't.
Fuck you.
Gonna check in through this room, because even though there's no item, there's still, like, another remnant psyche, because why not? This place, this entire hotel's got a ghost problem.
Just one?
Boy, ain't that the truth.
Excelsior!
Okay, up to the next floor. Oh, man. Yeah, this is going all smooth.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Such a rude little child Khan is.
Well, you know, Dan and Coyote taught me that.
There
And
we-
Kaide, for that matter.
She probably tried to teach him better, but then just gave up after a point. More blood for the blood gods.
I just have this image of, like, all of the characters in the same room, and Kaide's just, like, hogging the sofa. Just stretched out on it, being like, nah, I can't be bothered right now.
Yeah.
She strikes me as someone who would be like, no, this is my sofa. You guys can sit on the floor.
And then everyone just gets behind the sofa where she is.
Tips it over.
No, not even that. It just for a brief moment turns into a shot of like that one porno.
Oh.
Yeah, the one white girl and the 5 big black men. Which one's gonna get
say I
fucked?
like mine
That's a
more.
mystery. No, but it's like, which one's gonna get fucked? It's a mystery.
Yeah, I'll never be able to work that one out. Fucking Hercule Poirot over here.
And there we go, already up to level 2 with Kevin. Might as well. Look at those sweet backflips.
You can tell he works out, because he runs around shirtless all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta show off those sweet gains.
I feel pretty good about getting that crawling smile on the ceiling from that distance. Oh dear, this might be bad.
Nope.
Ah. Yeah, that's kind of the annoying... That is the annoying part, admittedly, about this floor, is that, like, every time you exit out of one of the rooms, like, the enemies on this floor randomize. Oh,
Also,
man.
that was exactly what I meant about, like, being pressured because of his slow rate fire.
Yeah, and it's like... And unfortunately, like, I could not get enough serum to, like, upgrade to, level 3 and all this stuff, or else I'd get Shine Sparkling.
Hmm.
Which
Oh,
is...
yeah. Is that his version of slow?
No, it's like, it's basically one of those moves that acts like, Mask's, like, 5-vial charge, where, like, it acts as a mini cutscene. He just throws out, like, a
the
bunch of
fan.
knives that basically hit everything, regardless of where you're aiming.
Adios. Adios.
Now, this floor is definitely meant for Mask. Even though there is not a puzzle or whatever that specifically requires him. It's just for the enemies.
At least we remembered how many vials of charge to use on those guys this time.
Yeah, Definitely. Also, other things I remembered is that, like, with some of the, with, like, the yellow charges, like those yellow circles on, like, the big, like, birthing smiles or whatever, I realized that, oh yeah, only the red ones require Dan's collateral shot. The yellow ones, you can just, like, shoot normally and they go down.
Mm.
Which is an interesting detail, I guess. Makes enough sense. You probably wouldn't want to, like, waste 3 vials on each weak point.
No, I mean, with some of the later ones, that's, what, 15 vials?
Yeah, like, that's a lot.
Really do like the color scheme on this stage.
Yeah, it's very nice, especially in this room currently. Just, like, the little, like, blue and orange contrast you're getting. You know, doing it before it was cool to have every movie poster just be that.
Hi, Mills.
Hey, hope you're not too upset about being dead.
Yeah, he seems pretty chipper about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he always wanted to, like, go out dying like just some dude in an action movie.
But cross that one off your bucket list, matey.
Yeah. Anyway, you think you could bother maybe telling me what it was you wanted to say before you got killed? Since, you know, you're actually talking to me? Can you? No? Okay.
Anything useful? No. Oh, wait, never mind.
No shit?
Uh-huh. As long as it didn't come from Alex Jones, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay, like, that was the opposite of helpful. I don't mean, like, unhelpful. I mean, like, as far removed from helpful as it's possible to be.
Yeah. We already lit the candle, dude. I'm out of here.
I'm just gonna be over here.
This bathroom has nothing. Okay.
Interesting how long this level feels, even though it's only, like, a couple dozen rooms.
Yeah, and several hallways and such. And the fact that this is technically only the first half of this chapter.
Well, that's the thing, because this, to me at least, this section feels more like the prologue. And then part 2 is, like, the real meat of the stage.
Also, it really does feel nice once you get to this version of Mask, and it's like, you don't even need to worry about reloading anymore. The game just automatically gets rid of his one weakness.
Rapid-fire grenade launchers.
Rapid-fire grenades so strong that you can kill the frame rate with them.
Still can't kill a cat ball, though.
No. Even if you hit the grenade, like, square in their face. Okay. Drop off some more blood. See how much more it can take before it just breaks. It's gotta be getting close.
It's only the next chapter that the blood machine's unlimited?
Yep, once you get to the school, you can just grind blood infinitely if you want. But we're not.
I think the only chapter, my first playthrough that I broke the blood machine on was Cloudman. And that's only because of all the running smiles everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. There it is, Shine Sparkling.
Not to be confused with Shine Sparking or Spine Shank.
Yeah. Yeah, Spine Sharking. No. Fuck. God damn you!
Yes!
Yeah! You son of a bitch!
Brain.exe has crashed.
Yeah! No, but I was about to say, like, Shine Sparking. Not to be confused with Shine Sparking, the ability that's used by Get a Robo, which was then the name was stolen for that ability in the Metroid games, where you just combine the where it's like you just you use the speed booster in specific ways to like basically stop your momentum but still retain like the hyper charge, and then you just shoot off in any direction.
You just break the game if you know how to use it properly.
Yeah. For real, like, it kind of amazed me how much, like, I just realized, like, that name had already existed before Metroid, and it was in Getter Robo, of all things. And it's more or less the same thing, too. It's just basically turning the Getter Robo into, like, just a big, like, hot ball of energy that just launches itself through anything. Oh, I love Getter Robo. Can't wait for that new anime whenever it's ready.
I believe it's July or August was the last date I heard.
Hopefully.
Might be wrong.
Oh dear.
You.
Got him.
Fuck you.
Ugh. Laser smiles really are, like, weirdly enough, panic-inducing.
You.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, you see them, they don't attack immediately, and it's like you've got only X amount of seconds to retaliate before they fire a laser that will more than likely just kill you, like, instantly. Like, it's the sort of thing... Or maybe not, actually. Yeah, because I keep feeling like you obviously remember these things more from, like, their mini-boss encounters, where their attacks actually do kill you in one shot. Whereas all the others afterwards just don't.
I think they do like shitloads of damage so they could kill someone like Con in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think... I think for, you know, the majority of the other characters, it doesn't count as a one-hit kill.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
Hey, Travis.
He loves New York. Even though we're in Philly.
Dude, put it back and don't put it in your mouth. What? It's chewing gum. Alright.
Oh, if only. Alright. You take care, Travis. Oh, man.
It's not like he's ever said anything useful so far.
Because, well, I guess that depends on, like, the perspective, just because it's like, he is technically the remnant psyche that I feel does make the most sense. He's the only one that seems to care enough about trying to give you some info that's even remotely passable or helpful.
Kind of a tie between him and the True Mask.
Yeah.
But, you know, the True Mask is calling you an asshole the entire time, so...
Yeah, that's definitely true. Sticking with my critical lock on characters for right now, just because it's like, I really just want to make sure that, like, my aim is true on those guys, as well as the bomb smiles.
Yeah, at this point they're just pulling out all the stops.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
You.
It was weird, because it was like the critical lock-on just wasn't working on them at that moment. That's weird.
Yeah, you were aiming like 3 foot above their head.
Let's give Coyote a shot just to see, like, what the distance record is that I can pull on this thing. Oh, no.
Doesn't it?
Oh, no. Yeah, it doesn't kill you, but it does do a whole lot.
Oh, that was about half your life there?
Yeah. Oh, and he kills himself anyways. Like, good
Yeah.
job. Whatever.
Yeah, that was why I couldn't get past the Laser Smile mini-boss, because I would keep dodging his attack, but because he would self-destruct, that didn't count as me killing him, so I had to go back in the same room 3 or 4 times to fight him.
Yeah, that's rough.
It was nuts.
Oh, dear. Dropping on more blood.
Yeah, really generous with the blood in this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even like you're going out of your way to farm more.
Yeah, I'm just killing everything as I go along. As I fill out every single room. Oh, there it goes.
Okay. Blood machine clogged. Understandable. Have a good day.
Can't be asked to fix it right now. Come back later.
Or should that be blood machine clotted?
Real funny.
Kind of disgusting as well.
Yeah. Gonna save things here. Whew. Getting close to the top. How did that not set off his bomb?
Yeah, it's only the fat body part ones that teleport and explode, remember?
Well, yeah, not even that. It was just more like the fact that, like, I clearly, like, it wasn't even a matter of, like, whether it would teleport, just if it would explode, is the thing. Because you hit the bomb part of them, they obviously supposed to explode, and that has an even wider blast radius than just a regular smile. So it's
yeah,
like...
but you were at the other end of the room from them.
I guess. I don't know. That was a weird thing on that game's part.
And now we're at the final boss of Metal Gear Solid 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely something. There's a freaking lamp behind you.
Yeah, but he's hiding in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Approaching DEFCON 5.
Yeah, DEFCON 5 is the lowest level of alert. DEFCON 1 is the highest, the most dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, Iwazaro just becomes less and less helpful due to how much he just freaks out over everything going on. You know, it's a good thing those micro smiles don't deal any damage to you.
Yeah, that would have been a real pisser. Oh yeah, I forgot this. Yeah.
That's a cool effect, though.
Very Okami.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Back to stamina.
So that's us got 7 shells.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. I think there was a Harmon room on this floor. I might as well, like, go through that just to make sure I have that as, like, a checkpoint. Not even so much to save, really, just because, like, it doesn't matter if it's a save room or not. If you die, whatever the last Harmon room is that you went into, that's where Garcine will spawn.
Yeah, that's just helpful.
Mm-hmm. But now we get to go back through the best area of the game.
One more time.
Yeah, this has been a fun ride. Though at the same time, I am also very anxious to get back to, like, my kind of usual, like, nightly streams schedules, just because... It's sometimes nice just to do those as a way of when it's, like, there's not much else I really can think of wanting to do in my free time.
Yeah.
And just streaming myself playing games for, like, a couple hours straight is, like, a good way to pass it.
Oh, are we going through? Are we going through? No. God damn it.
This game is such a tease.
Yes, you're so short.
It's funny.
Was it like a sneeze but better?
Oh, yeah, this one. This is a
Oh yeah, this is like a proper boss encounter.
In a weird way, yeah. And it's like... Yeah, it's another thing that's weirdly enough kind of reminiscent to me of the first, like, mini-boss smile. The one that, like, is jittering and just all over as it rushes toward you. Timer smile, yeah.
Yeah, gotta pop them pustules.
Yeah, and it's like... You kind of want... I believe there was a strategy I remember with this where it's like, you want to hit all the pustules, but like leave one that is still easy to hit no matter what, because he does start freaking out and going much faster when he's down to the last one.
Yeah, I think it's you want to get the legs first.
Well, yeah, like
That's what I did.
Well, like, yeah, and the thing I did was that I basically destroyed everything except the obvious one on its chest. Just because the chest is, like, fairly stable in, like, its position as he starts running towards you.
Yeah. See, I remember him getting faster as you destroy more of them.
No, it's really only when you get down to the last one. And it's the sort of thing where, like, if you didn't, like... be mindful of how many you were, like, of the ones you were shooting beforehand, then yeah, you'd be pretty screwed.
Yeah.
The camera dictates this room can only accept Garcian.
No girls
The
allowed.
one they call Matsuken.
No, Kanjiro Matsuoka is not here. I already handed him over.
Where?
How about I give you a clue?
You know we don't have time for puzzles.
Of course. A new informant is waiting.
I agree, we got
When
no
you find
time for
yourself
puzzles
getting
that
close
don't
to the
even
truth,
count as
please come again.
puzzles.
I'm afraid our time is up. Good day.
That end is just so hilarious, because he's just
The
Dwight...
end, no moral.
Yeah, it's Dwight Schultz going, you're right, things can't end here, go do this other thing, then come back and we'll talk. Good day. End.
You are dismissed.
Mm-hmm. Now it's time to go to the place that always breaks this entire fucking narrative for me.
So,
Mostly because of the location, and the implication of, like, what it's supposed to be. Because, you remember we were back in Philly, right? We were back,
Yeah.
like, all the way, like, in the northeast part of the United States. Oh, wait, I don't need to drop off blood here. What am I doing? I need to save. But yeah, imagine if we're going to a place that is supposed to be very, like, ingrained into the foundation of the United States from its very, like, inception. And it's in Seattle, Washington.
is Fresno in Seattle?
I think Fresno's California. Oh yeah, but before this, we have to get into a cutscene where we meet a character that we never see anywhere else ever again.
Linda Vermillion.
Mm-hmm.
Another classic name.
Voiced by Jen Hale.
Is the way
Who has
punctually being
absolutely
your
zero
vocabulary?
time for our bullshit.
It must be easy being you. Come and
Yeah.
go whenever you please.
Your identity?
Linda Vermillion. I was the one hired to kill Mills.
What?
Mills was a slave, kissed up to the government. The
Sure you don't
government's
want to be
interest
wearing
was
a,
his
like a
interest.
thicker
our
jacket
job.
or maybe a jacket?
He's making a move
You look
in the
kinda
interest
cold.
of the country, an assassin's job too.
Also
Who
kind
are
of dressed
you,
like
really?
Dante from Devil May Cry 3.
I'm a protector of the country.
Yeah, she's got the
You
gun
soon
bra
will
strap and
find.
everything.
Hold it.
See? You already know. It's your last job. Use your eyes to decipher how the system works. And then, seek the real enemies.
Call me. I'm lonely.
I'm so lonely ever since I killed my soul.
Okay, but you need to ask if I'm gonna vote for the Freedom Party while we do it, okay?
Yep, time to go through an elementary school. Correction, a national elementary school.
Yes, an elementary school which is the size of a state capital.
And is the seat of voting power in the United States. It was founded by George Washington himself. Like, no. Just... No, fuck off. Fuck no. I can't. I just can't. Every time I get to this fucking point.
As I said, like, it's a really great idea that kind of falls apart if you think about it for too long.
Yeah, with too long being, like, 2 seconds.
At all.
Just... I mean, seriously. We were in Philadelphia. You couldn't have, like, put this school and used the same conceit, like, in that same state or any of the other places that were the New England colonies? Like, the fuck?
Well, obviously, if they put it there, then people would have seen it. It's, like, too easy to work out.
I'm blaming this on the fact that Suda probably saw the name of the state being Washington and thought that had it explicitly to do with George Washington. That was the key that connected everything in his mind.
Kind of makes me think of those old, like, 1940s and 50s sci-fi movies that are like... it'll start off and it'll come up with a title card saying, American State Capital, the world.
Oh, dear.
Like, the continental US takes up 3/4 of the globe.
Oh. Because everything has to be so damn big when it comes to America.
Okay, let's get this over with.
Yeah, I got no time for cryptic bullshit. Just give me the double eagles, tell me the solutions, I'll be on my way. Oh wait, that's right, I actually need to get some blood from Heaven Smiles before... God damn it, I've never actually...
Never done that before, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so... 7 tanks...
I can't even make that out over here.
Oh yeah, but it's just shitty child drawings.
Yeah. Looks like a bunch of Get a Robo knockoffs.
Yeah.
Symmetrical docking.
Choryujin! And again, I'm just thinking about that Super Robot Wars 4 Coma comic where it's just that, but the middle panel is just the two girls squishing their boobs together.
It's just the tiny little squish.
Squish! And then just go, what the fuck is this gag? Okay, so 3 bugs, 6 animals, I guess, 5 robots, and 7 vehicles, I guess. Fuck if I know. It's hard. That is the real evil, trying to, like, decipher, like, shitty child drawings as part of a puzzle in a video game.
What was I was playing the other day that had, there was a load of just random kids' drawings. Oh, yeah. Resident Evil Village. You go into this one hut, and there's just a bunch of random drawings that a kid made for their parent that turns out to be the code for a safe nearby.
Yeah, 6, 5.
And I was like, no kid drew these, they're too good. I don't mean good as in actually good, I mean good as in, like, too obviously childlike, you know?
Yeah. Also, yeah, reminding me that I've not played Resident Evil Village. Just because it's like, I'm just not being that focused on too many, like, new game releases at this point.
Right now I'm going through that, Dark Souls 3, and Nocturne, interchangeably.
Yeah.
Because apparently I hate myself.
Yeah.
And want to suffer for at least 2 out of the 3.
I mean, I've been going through this. I started replaying Samurai Jack Battle Through Time just to kind of, just because like that's a pretty solid game, all things considered, and like, oh yeah, we get the cassettes this chapter.
Yeah. Like there's 18, 20 of them.
Yeah, something like that. But no, oh wait, no, yeah, it's like 12 cassettes. But yeah, and like other things that I've been going through game-wise is so like in a brief moment of triumph from yesterday morning, I decided again to go, you know, I'm gonna give another shot at trying to get Heavy Gear 2 reinstalled on my computer and see if I can actually get it working properly again. And I did. It turns out the secret to my success was that if you're running into a problem where like a game where it was a disc-based game and you're like mounting the ISO or whatever, and the setup.exe just refuses to work normally, then just set up a virtual machine of Windows 98, install it through there, and then transfer all the files from the virtual machine to local, and you're good to go.
I'm kind of surprised that it's that, well, more or less easy to get it running.
Well, like, it was easy to, like, get it installed that way because, and the thing about it was that I'd actually done it before with other games in the past. It had just been so long since I had used the VMware workstation for anything. Because it was, like, I remember, like, a decade ago using that as, like, that was how I was able to get No One Lives Forever installed on Windows 7 back then, because the setup exe just would not run on Windows 7. So, like, I had to, like, install it through there, then transfer the files back to local, and it worked normally. And this was obviously before people put out, like, that free version of Nulf 1 and 2 that you can just download off the internet, because none of, like, the rights holders involved give a shit about figuring out who actually owns it and redistributing. And honestly, that's the best way to, like, experience that at this point. Because, like, you get more proper, like actual widescreen support if that's your thing. The ladies' room is selectable, and naturally we could only go in there as the only lady of this group.
That's actually kind of a nice touch, I have to say.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, why is it overflowing? No!
The toilet flushing called the pigeon.
He's just fucking done.
Yeah. This is basically like the one pigeon I think that is like the absolute best one that you have to get no matter what, even if you aren't getting all of them.
Yeah, it's just this section kind of feels like it was written by Warren Ellis. Just someone hunched over a typewriter with like a mad look on their face.
Oh hey, Samantha's now a Smith.
Thanks, Sam.
And it got us a tape, so obviously it was important. I'm pretty much gonna wait until I get all of the tapes and then like just run through them until like it shows what all the different like code phrases or whatever that we need.
Doesn't it?
Hello, Wrath.
Hello.
Pleased to see you too.
Doesn't it?
You're coming in here just in time for the grand finale of Killer 7, where nothing will make sense.
Not that it did before, but it's going to make even less sense now.
Fuck you.
Oh, yeah. Just keep going around through here. Oh, great. More of these broken bastards. Still managed to get them, like, but it's always when they're so close to ramming into you.
Yeah, you never really feel like you properly kill them.
Yeah, it's like the best way to actually kill them is to just pull out Mask.
Yeah.
Because just the single grenade's always enough.
And
Yeah.
at this point, you've got no reloading time, so...
Oh, yeah. Ugh. But yeah, I got Heavy Gear 2 running again, and like that was nice. It still was a bit of a pain to get working right because I still had to hunt down for like specific files to replace old ones that would like be able to make it work properly, but it at least now works 99%. Exactly as you would want. I say 99% because the 1% refers to the oh, hold on, after I there, that one's down. Yeah, it refers to like how like for whatever reason the graphics settings menu in the options, it always glitches out for whatever reason, like it doesn't display properly. But every other menu works fine, and it loads into the gameplay just fine, so that's still fine. I can at least rebind the controls to however I need.
Mm.
And it's now got me thinking, you know, now that I got like a VMware workstation set up again for like installing games like these, I should probably like try getting MechWarrior 3 installed again and seeing if I'll have better luck that way. Because that was also a game that I had similar troubles trying to get running on current platforms.
I remember, I think it was Mech Commander, not quite real-time strategy, not quite turn-based tactics game.
Yeah.
Remember that caused me a lot of trouble when I tried installing it way back in the day. I think that wasn't Vista.
Yeah.
I think it might have been 98 that I was trying to load it on, but for some reason it just wouldn't load properly for me or install properly.
Hold on, I'm trying to... Yeah, there was a classroom right there next to where I first entered this hallway. Completely missed it.
Oh, there's a TV and video. That means this class is going to have the best day ever.
Yep. Yep. Glad you remember that as much as I do.
I remember we had the social studies class.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher was completely uninterested in. So we only had it like once a week, and rather than teaching us anything useful, the teacher would just put on an episode of the Wonder Years and leave us to it.
That's pretty good.
It was the most random thing, I swear to God.
Yeah. I think most I remember of any one of those instances were like the Oh, you never had that, Raph? That's unfortunate. Yeah, it was kind of nice whenever like you just had like those reprieves from like any of like the regular studies or whatever.
Yeah. When the teacher rolled in the nice TV and the VCR, you knew you were in for a good time.
Yeah. And like admittedly the only like one of those I still remember at this point is that it was the way that I had first seen The Princess Bride.
We never had that, but I did get to see Home Alone for the first time in school at Christmas one year.
Yeah. We did have teachers who didn't show up, so we just find an escape route and leave.
I had a job like that.
Man.
No, okay,
so schools in Saudi Arabia, that sounds like an adventure.
Now, one place I worked at, they had no system for timekeeping or anything.
Oh.
So people would say, okay, I'm going to work a half day. And they'd show up for like the first 20 minutes of their shift. And then be like, okay, see ya, and just walk out. Like they'd be in for 9 and out by 9:30.
Oh dear. Okay, remembering this, Locker 666 L3G.
Is that the one that you need to shoot the lockers for?
I think so. I forget exactly which one. I know there's like multiple things you do with like the lockers in this school. But yeah, like seeing Princess Bride was like, it was interesting too because it was like, whenever it came around to like when they would roll in like the TV just to like watch a movie during school, it was like, there was never weirdly enough time to actually see the thing in full. That was always kind of the problem. So like, even though that was the first time I'd seen Princess Bride, it wasn't all the way through, but it was like probably like half, maybe 2/3 of it. I just remember when I first watched it, for whatever reason, like my ears must have misheard something completely different from like when a character said something, whereas like the character's Wesley getting pushed down a hill just saying, "As you wish," and for whatever reason, my mind misheard it as, "Damn you, bitch!" And I'm like, wait,
They both
what?
are appropriate for that film.
Yeah. Well, then again, it was a movie from the 80s. Like that was back when like you could get away with one like use of the word "fuck" in a PG film. It would not have surprised me. But no, it was just using the phrase of "as you wish." Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, I'd seen it a couple of times as a kid, but I saw it as an adult for the first time a few years ago. And I was surprised at how well it still holds up.
Yeah. I think last thing I had like seen or been reminded of it was someone just like linking me like a Twitter thread that was of someone's live reactions to watching it for the first time. And it was pretty hilarious because it was a case of them like not only being fully introduced to this, but to this movie and like the memorable moments, but also realizing that she had basically heard half of these things and absorbed them through osmosis, and suddenly realized that's where the source of all this stuff was. Like, like like with the whole Vasily just always going inconceivable, like that sort of thing, and being like, oh fuck, that's where it's from.
You keep using that word, but I do not think you know what it means.
I do not think it means what you think it means.
What do you think it means? Yeah,
that's always so good. Okay, yeah, so... Yep, 666, just blow it open.
Yeah.
And there's like another puzzle following this where you have to like shoot this again and then all the others.
Yeah, like
open
you
up.
shoot one door and the next one opens. Yeah.
Introducing
That's
the ultimate wrestling legend. Get ready for this, Raph.
So now we go from Kamen Rider
into...
full-on Sentai end of season hero.
Yeah. He looks... That gesture he did makes him seem like he's weirdly disappointed with this outfit change.
Like, seriously? I'm looking like this?
Yeah, Jushin Liger Kamen Rider. Oh yeah, that's true. It does rhyme. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Change the world. Misspelled world,
Wow.
kid.
Whoever wrote that needs to be in school. Hope they're not dead.
F minus minus, see me after class.
Oh, sorry, that's Kahlua.
Okay, so that's that room. Oh yeah, there's a yeah, before we go into the corridor, there's another Harmon's room. Dropping the R is a literal change. Kid's smarter than you think.
I mean, you've got me there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of hard to argue now that I think about it. Whew. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I keep wanting to go back to Heavy Gear too because of how I still have other like things on my train of thought about that where it's like, yeah, I'm glad I got that running again, but it also reminded me two things. One, like my flight stick that I used to play that with is still in store, so obviously I don't really have a suitable means of like playing it like the way I would like. But also, it is still one of those situations where where like it's an old enough game that does not have a windowed mode, like a proper one, and because of that, and because of how old it is, OBS capture for like full screen applications is so finicky that it refuses to like show any of it. So yeah, that's basically just gonna be a game I'm gonna be playing only for myself and not for stream. And until something changes. Best case scenario, I would get like a dedicated like Windows 98 machine and have like a VGA splitter set up where I would have it like send the feed to both like an old like PC monitor and then one to like a upscaler to capture card and just like show it that way. Cause seriously, I do not get. I feel like the only way I can understand like how the game capture source on OBS works like it does for PC games is that like it only works if it's for games that I'm pretty sure were like made with DirectX 8 or 9 and up. That's the only way I can conceive of it, because the oldest game I've been able to like get it running through is the original PC version of Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay.
Oh yeah, I for some reason I always think that was an Xbox exclusive.
I mean, it was.
I forget they released the director's cut version.
Yeah. A special kind of lock. Ow.
Well, we've got grenades. Those break open locks.
Nice try.
Ah well, worth a shot.
Yeah, so it's like I might as well go back through and like kill some smiles and ooh, just barely. But yeah, it's like I definitely need some blood to like because unfortunately I foolishly spent it all on the blood machine instead of giving it to either Yun-Hun. Because that would have been nice to kind of remind myself of like what that freaking like lock combination puzzle is in like the data room.
I think it's something like the number of limbs on each visible on each poster outside, something like that.
Oh, and the posters outside. Oh, I guess that would make sense because I was basing it on like how many things were on those children's drawings in the room.
Yeah.
When it's clearly not that.
Yeah, because if you look, it's like one of them's a horse and one of them's an omega symbol or something like that. And if you look at the posters, one's a centaur and one has a big omega symbol.
Right.
I'm sure it's something like that.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. And thus I'm still gonna blame those child drawings for being dumb child drawings because they led me to believe that it had to do with the puzzle.
Misdirection, my friend.
Okay, back through here. And up we go. Oh wait, no, I still need to go back by the posters just to make sure.
Yeah.
It's funny too because it's like we've had situations already where it's like I would probably have remembered these a whole lot easier if I did not have to like juggle talking and all this other stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so number of limbs you said.
Yeah, I think that's it. Or I think it's limbs
4.
and maybe weapons or something.
Huh. Yeah, that's weird, because... I mean, you have the internet at your fingertips, you could probably look it up.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds.
Because otherwise, if it's just based on limbs, then it's like almost all of these would be 4.
Killer7.
Unless it's like, unless it also has something to do with like the posters. Hold on, I'm checking with Yunhyun. Now it's the last dance, loser. All robots are combining robots.
Or is it the number of parts that they're made of?
Posters go with the doodles. Input the number of times they combine.
Yeah. The idea is to pay attention to how many parts there are for each robot. That is how many robots there are on each poster, and enter that number on the control panel.
Wait, I feel like I was doing that. Like, cause like that's 7, 5, 6, and 3.
Yeah, but you need to do it in the order that the posters are in the hallway.
Oh, Jesus, of course.
Yeah.
Which is like...
If you want, I can give you the code right now.
Sure, why not?
3576.
Okay. Oh, Rat's just bringing up about Yunhyun. Like how the guy is basically an Eminem photo with face paint. ICP, man. But here's one of the best Travis locations.
Just when it opens up and he's just giving you the evil eyes, just like staring at you.
It's like, just let me work out by myself, man.
Dude, give a guy some private time.
I know a good private place.
No, I'm not falling for that again after No More Heroes.
Oh, that.
There, you want to meet there.
Yeah.
No, I really don't.
Dangerous.
You keep
Totally
doing you.
just vibing.
Yeah, you just do you, man.
Hey
Okay.
man, I'm just having a good time on my elliptical walker.
Yep.
Like, don't harsh my buzz.
Okay, so locker 656. That's obviously where we need to go. I did not mean to go back inside. What the fuck? Okay. Whew.
Back to the locker hallway we go.
Mm-hmm. Maybe find some Heaven Smiles to shove them into, you know? For being such giggling nerds.
Just giving Carmilla smile a swirly.
Fuck you.
Camellia Smiles would absolutely be the kind of smiles that would, like, exist just to get bullied by all the others.
Why do you think they learned to run so fast?
Yeah, boy!
They're like, oh shit, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Getting the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remembered that, like, with B, mashing B along with A also makes for, like, a good alternate way to lock on. Because, like, hitting L only really works for, like, the character's, like, specific, like, limb or critical lock on. Whereas B is just kind of a general purpose. It's always gonna, like, lock on to the wherever the enemy is, unless so a weak point. Oh, look who's in here.
That doesn't look particularly cozy, but again, you do you.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't have I have an easy time believing that this school's messed up. Oh, you're already telling us about the locker puzzle that we already did. Good to know.
Yeah, kind of been there, done that already, Travis. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I just noticed on the map screen it shows you the date and the time.
Yep, that's
Bottom right corner.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, because I remember it, like, it shows the date, like, before starting each case. You know, because that's supposed to be the time frame. Okay, so... obviously, there's still the matter of, like, that big doorway leading into corridor that we can't open yet. But there's got to be something, I believe, that's in this room.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Okay, so... or not. Oh, wait, I think, like, the, wait, that exclamation mark is just, like, going to the,
The hallway, maybe?
yeah, it's in the hallway, is the thing.
Okay, so something to do with the water ring at the entrance.
Or something, like, maybe with Eternal. Except I forget, because I feel like... because I know that room, I think you go back in there once you're ready to be there as just Garcian, because he has to put, like, his vision ring in there.
Yeah.
Unless there's something else I am missing. Would be nice if this map was somewhat better, but okay.
It'd be
Still
great
got
if it was useful, but, you know, this is the world we live in.
Oh, wait. Oh yeah, that's right, I just remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while, and by a while, I mean probably 2 years. Yeah.
Oh, you were gonna say?
Oh yeah, it's just like, I remember playing this last when I had a CRT when I was, like, living elsewhere. So it was like, I basically was, like, just pulling whatever old games I had to use as an excuse to play on that thing. And this was one of them. This, along with, like, Eternal Darkness, RE4, all the good stuff.
Yeah. I think I last finished this about, I want to say a good 9 or 10 years ago. And after that, if I wanted to essentially experience it again, I would just watch a playthrough of it.
True, yeah. But also...
yes! Spinning!
Yeah!
As I said last time, this is a game you only really play twice. Once for yourself and once to show off to people.
Mm-hmm. The truth behind this country. Now, I'm pretty sure I already know what the truth of this country is. It's built on racism, xenophobia, and colonialism.
Ah, dude. Spinning. Basically good and lagging, but shit. Don't.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow, that's a big old mesh.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Might as well save on some blood tubes. And just, like, leave them for Dan's collateral shot on the two that absolutely require it. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm already maxed out at 20.
Yeah. What the hell, man?
Yeah, okay, fine. Dan's the man. Okay, that was weird. It didn't fire, but it still had him say collateral shot.
Yeah. Take the vials as well.
Yeah, that's a weird glitch. It may or may not be because of, I am playing this off an SD card in like a GameCube loader on a soft modded Wii. Who knows? I mean, weird stuff has happened. I did play RE4 on this thing, and things got a bit weird once I got to the end. There was at least one cutscene on there where like the polygon models like just lost all of their fixed points completely and just turned into just a big fleshy mess. Shut up, Wrath! Shut up! He remembers. The end of my RE4 stream on this was quite something. Wait, really? Wow, okay. So I guess my version of the ISO wasn't the only one that had that specific problem.
See, it's funny because I actually started up a game of RE4, I want to say last weekend. Did not recall it being quite so, the aiming being quite so slow.
Yeah, I mean, like it's tuned to what it needs to. I think the problem I've always had is that, like, it weirdly enough is one of those games where, like, it only feels right with a specific type of control stick, and that control stick happens to be the one found on a GameCube controller.
Yeah, I was playing it on the PS4, because I have a habit of buying it every time it gets re-released for a new console, because I'm an idiot like that.
Okay.
And yeah, I was like, okay, I do not remember the aiming being as sluggish as this. So went into the options menu to see if there was a way of speeding it up, and no, none. I was like, that's super weird.
I mean,
especially
like,
in this day and age.
Well, yeah, but it's like, if you're gonna aim anywhere, you better make sure you're already positioned where you need to be.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. But also, it's like, there's like tricks that kind of get around that, where it's like, everyone obviously remembers the 180 quick turn. But I feel what like goes understated a lot in RE4 and 5 as well, since it's the same control setup, is that like, because of how the right analog stick works for camera, in that it doesn't really like turn your character, it just turns their heads facing direction and but then recenters back. But like, there's a trick with that where you can basically push the stick, the right stick, in the left or right direction, then press the trigger to aim, and that direction your head is facing will become like Leon's new standing facing direction. So there's situations where I specifically like tap those inputs, those input combinations twice, and because of that, I am able to like basically not have to worry about like readjusting after a 180 quick turn. I can basically do something close to like a 90-degree turn, which I think is really valuable for playing RE4 well.
Yeah.
Of course, it didn't help me during the final boss when I streamed, because Raph remembers. All of it, I'm pretty sure, was like... I'm pretty sure all of it was started when I got a bit too much hubris and decided that after the last visit to the merchant, I decided to just kill him.
Oh, I think everyone does that.
Raph clearly didn't, because I'm pretty sure he hated my guts for that afterwards. But then it was because of that, as soon as I did that, it was like the game was trying to break right out from under me, because that's where like that glitch cutscene happened. That's where I was starting to eat shit at points during the Sadler fight, and there was the fact that like I actually had gotten a golden egg from like the beginning of the game, and then my plan with that was, okay, I am going to hold on to this egg and carry it to the very last fight, and when it comes time to like killing Sadler with the rocket launcher, I'm gonna precede it by throwing the golden egg right in his face. Except that in a hurry to equip it, I accidentally used it because my health wasn't maxed. So I ate the egg in front of him. And I was damn near tempted to just end the stream right there. I even cut to the end stream screen, like, at that point. But it's just like, nope, clearly this is my karma.
You done fucked up. Game over.
Yeah. Still a fun time. Because especially since I was doing it on professional and was just kind of like taking all my deaths as they came along. And, you know, the deaths were not huge, though there were some moments where it definitely put me on tilt. Come on, go in there. Oh, you... That's the one I always remember. It's like, you're about to go directly into that middle door, and it's just, nope, fuck you. Here it is, the last monster. Holes everywhere.
Oh man, it's the whack-a-mole smile.
Oh yeah, we gotta hit the face. Oh yeah, that was a fun time.
Vaguely remember this one taking forever to do.
Kinda, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that Kevin's not gonna be the one to do it, but I might as well just show anyway. Oh yeah, Galactic Tomahawk smile!
Ah. Oh yes. Loads of missiles.
Might as well. No. It's not.
Shusha!
Oh!
Oh!
That missile is directly touching my pecs.
That's an interesting nipple piercing you've got there, Kev.
It was at that moment that Kevin Smith realized he should have switched the mask.
Yeah, if ever there was a moment that needed the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure end music, to be continued.
Still hit me afterwards, the fucking bastard. Oh, that was funny. What can you do against infinite grenades with no reloading? There we go.
That was simple enough.
Oh, yeah. Though, to be fair, I'm pretty sure I did do a decent enough amount of damage with Kevin beforehand.
Yeah.
But also, I equipped the power ring for this, so it went even faster than it would have normally. Okay, so... yeah, and that was the Vinculum gate. Funny enough, so... wait, no, that's... I want the stamina ring back. Let me actually double check what all my cassettes are at.
Yeah, I was just about... oh, you've got them all.
Yeah, all 10, that's true. And it's like... yeah.
So I've got all the stuff that you need to type in here.
Yeah, which and even then, I still might as well, for the audience, still, like, let those play.
No, I meant rather than having to note everything down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
The tapes themselves are really good. Really well voice acted.
Yeah, they're definitely... They are quite good. It is the only instance you can, like, point to where this game it decides to go down the route of using audio logs.
Well, this was before the great audio log deluge of the mid-2000s.
Yeah, before BioShock happened. Yeah. That's really all I have to say about BioShock. Just, eh.
Eh. I remember when it came out, someone describing it as like Atlas Shrugged, but better, and I was like, if that's your bar for excellence, no wonder you seem to know a lot about Atlas Shrugged.
I mean, it's technically correct.
Oh no, it's 100% accurate. It's
yeah,
just...
mainly because it's not coming from the perspective of someone who believes objectivism to actually be a good idea. It's clearly made by people who know just how much fucking malarkey it is.
Would you like to join me for a game?
Well, I mean,
of Russian
BioShock
roulette?
shows it perfectly. You know, no matter how rich you are, and no matter how great the borderline fascist utopia you're in is, someone's still got to clean the shitters.
About it, son.
Oh,
If you win, I'll let you.
a
in
memorable
on the secret.
scene, to say the least.
How to hit on women with 100% success.
Who will win in Russian roulette? Tall black man or Steve Bloom as the school principal?
Then I want you to
Garcian,
kill the
not
president.
having any of your shit.
All
Smith.
right.
Yeah.
It's
I also
indeed.
like the detail he says where it's like you basically listing out the win or lose conditions. That it's like the lose condition is something clearly impossible, which is kill the president. And I think thinking about it now in the context of Russian roulette, I think the whole point of the lose condition is like if you don't want to take the chance of getting a bullet in your brain, that's what you have to do instead.
Reminds me of a joke in Rugrats of all places where the granddad
I hate
has
to
been
say
out
it,
all
but
night,
you got
and when he's
guts,
asked
son.
where he was, he's like, "Oh, I've been playing Russian roulette."
No way I'm gonna die
And
today.
someone says,
Or
"Oh, did you
tomorrow, for
win?"
that matter.
And he just stops and he's like,
At least not
"You
until
don't know
the
what Russian
election
roulette is,
over.
do you, son?"
It takes more luck than this game to run a country, damn it.
I was like, "Fucking hell!"
That's surprisingly dark for that kind of show.
Jesus Christ!
I'm on a roll. I'm hot. It looks like Lady Luck's on my side today.
Garcia's just like, yeah, get this over with.
What's a country? Who are the people? What are politicians? Who knows?
Politicians, what are
I
they?
just
They are
wanted
not to be
become
trusted.
a president. All I need is to hear the empty click of the
Even if their interests
And
do
my
occasionally
dreams
line up
will
with the
come
best
true.
interests of what the people want at the moment. Just like fucking good for Biden for doing what he's been trying to do like since his term started, but I'm still maintaining my policy and like keeping that shit like away with like a 10-foot pole.
Sorry.
Reagan being an asshole bitch as expected. Guess he kind of does look like him. Oh, Jesus.
Well, I mean, by the end of his life, he did have many, many holes in his brain. Just slightly less literal than what's about to happen.
Yeah.
This gun holds 7 bullets. I'm a professional. You can't fool me, old man.
You and I, we're both sick.
He's actually correct when he
The
says
time
it
we
has
feel
7
alive is when
bullets.
we put our
Like every time they
lives
show the
behind.
barrel,
It's a
you can
sad
tell that
reality.
there's like,
But we people are
because if it
never
was 6,
satisfied.
you'd only
We'll
be
always
seeing
seek a
like
higher
4
rush.
exposed because of how the chamber
United
works.
States rests within the walls of this institution.
So yeah, nice try,
Old
Benjamin,
tradition that has
but
continued since the first presidential election.
better get ready on that assassination
You
gig.
To see it through to the end. And by the way, women are all the same.
And we're never gonna learn how to get girls at this rate.
Well, yeah, you're definitely not gonna like. You're definitely not gonna get them if your perspective is that they're all the same.
Well, now to steal his shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he did just lose an entire demographic and his life. Oh yeah, oh right, the freaking code for this. One of these cassettes definitely does have it, but I'm actually gonna take this time to just play them all right now. So yeah, just strap in for a little while.
Yeah, this is gonna take a bit.
2 days since the presidential election. Today's the 4th Thursday in November. Rainy. My name's Hulbert, an FBI agent assigned to the Apollo branch. An investigation for the Electoral Justice Committee has brought me to this place. My purpose, to investigate any connection between this school and the presidential election. As I dig, I'm finding out that there's a lot of dirt. I knew something was up when they assigned me to take this investigation. Whoever finds this tape, do me a favor and look for the other tapes. I'll record my findings in these tapes. My first finding, 55549. It's the number of delinquent students here, and also the combination to unlock the safe. Don't forget it.
number of delinquent students. Like I get that I did not like go to like a public high school or whatever, but I at least know the elementary school I went to was public, and I'm pretty sure that like the maximum student body count of that was like significantly less than these seemingly like amount of delinquents in this freaking school. Like, how do you expect to fit all these bastards in here?
Yeah, this school has a student population bigger than most towns.
Oh shit, I forgot that there's multiple layers in this password.
Yeah.
You gotta...
I can give you the second one right now.
Yeah, let's just do it in case if I were to decide to back out, I have to input both again.
Yeah.
So
it's 72712.
72712. There we go. Yeah. Fuck, of course. Fingerprint matched.
Yeah, it's almost like it was expecting us, huh?
And, oh right, this safe thing. Easiest safe puzzle ever because it literally stops you when you've, like, turned far enough in one direction. Okay, here we go. Let's see what's inside.
That can't be good.
You might want to clean that, Garcy.
Yeah, looks like an eye. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, this may or may not be easy to explain.
I'm gonna say, no, it's not.
Well, I think I'll say it's somewhat easy to explain relative to everything else that's supposed to be revealed during this.
It's easy to explain, maybe just not easy to understand.
There we go. Remember with that, you have to shoot the trophy for the secret exit. Because every principal's office has that.
I mean, I assume they've got some kind of torture bunker under the school.
All right. Yuzar, can you just please, for once, keep your shit together?
Freaking out is what Iwasaru does best. Statler and Waldorf?
Man, if only they were in this. They'd probably be the biggest semblance of sense in this entire game. Like, whatever weird interpretation they come up with is probably more valid. So yeah, this is basically telling us, hey, you had better have made sure to, like, get all those tapes, listen to them, because all of them are going to have some important info that you're going to have to input later at the data room. But hey, at least with this, we're now looping back around to the start of the elementary school. Which is one thing about, like, this level's design I do like. Especially with how, like, we had the Vinculum Gate, and that's normally, like, leads to, like, what is the end. But it just kind of opens up, like, the end of, like, a loop.
Oh shit, you got over here quick. No, it's the stagehands that do that. God. It's like you don't even know stage directions.
Well, yeah, that's kind of an understatement. Okay, you take care, Raph.
See you later.
Mm-hmm.
No, you shot yourself in the head. We saw it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to expose all of the shame.
Don't expose the nation's shame. Don't look up its skirt. Don't laugh at the nation's panties. Man, I don't even know what our mission is at this point.
At this point, it's like basically trying to remember what the deal is with Garcian.
Hmm.
But yeah, let's get back through these cassettes now.
This is Hulbert. There's more to this safe than I thought. It's got a double lock mechanism. I need another combination, but I figured it out. It's 727.
Oh, that's the one that...
It's the number
Okay.
of terminals in this
That's definitely
store.
something I'll have to remember next
If
time,
I'm
is that
lucky, I might hit the truth.
cassettes 1 and 2
But
are
digging deeper might
specifically
cost me
for
more.
that safe combination.
Yeah.
The rest have to do with this terminal that we are
It's
standing
Hulbert.
in front of.
I ran a background check on the boy. His name is Amir Parkreiner. The Parkreiners. A family damned by the devil himself. Some say that they possess the DNA of crime. It's drawn the attention of many academics. It appears that Amir Parkreiner was sent to this school by the government. Assigned as his teacher was the former principal. His name's... He's the key person linked to some kind of underground organization.
Next one?
It's Hulbert. And I must say I'm damn glad to still be alive. Still being able to record my findings. I heard a voice. More like laughter. I tried to locate the owner of the voice. There's something roaming around in these halls. I know it sounds crazy, but you have to believe me. This place is dangerous beyond my imagination. I've got to find a safe place. Just a minute ago, I found a student ID. The ID number is 00480-158.
Mm-hmm.
It's Hulbert.
That ID is definitely a good reason why I'm glad that you have all the solutions pre-written down.
Yeah.
Inside the school.
No, when I was playing this, I was like, okay, so there's numbers longer than 4 digits. I'm just gonna have the game facts page open beside me.
It sure doesn't help my chronic headaches. Well, at any rate, I confirmed his birth date. It's November 22nd, 1942. Wait a minute. This can't be right. That's over 50 years ago.
Yeah, the funny realization of, like, when you get the info, but you didn't look over it beforehand, and then when you read it, you go, wait, this shit don't make sense.
Just hang on 1 minute here, boy.
Yeah. Just taking a double, like, take back at your slides. It's just like, found 1 bug in the code. Fixed the bug. Now we have 2 bugs. Wait, now we have 2 bugs.
It's Hulbert. I don't have time. But I found out where Amir is from. There were some documents sent from Alabama regarding his parents' blood types. The father, type A. The mother, type O. If their blood types are correct, then Amir's blood type must be wrong. It just doesn't match. Not only that, the DNA analysis doesn't match either. What the hell's going on here?
Just 4 more.
Albert. I'm in the library of the PTA. About Amir's parents, or should I say so-called parents. Their names are Michael and Catherine. They died in a car accident when Amir was 4 years old. Something about this car accident seems fishy. I better continue my investigation. I sense something bad here.
Think anyone's explained
My
adoption to
name's
this guy?
Albert. My investigations on Amir Park
Feel like they
led me
haven't.
to this school.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if the whole thing's even real. It all seems surreal. I don't know if anyone will believe anything on these tapes, but I gotta tell the truth. Amir Park-Reiner died on April 28th, 1952. The registration of residence indicates that he was living with his parents. Then, who is the Amir attending this school? Have the records been fabricated? The government has gone too far.
The only thing I feel that can make this make some amount more sense is, like, with this whole setup and conspiracy behind the school, is if you're thinking from the perspective of this was originally supposed to be, like, related to Kill the Past. And there's, like, some amount of similarities between, like, the conspiracy behind, like, the 24 wards, like, literally, like, breeding and engineering, like, Kamuis.
Yeah.
That's, like, the only comparison I can really think of that, like, makes this even remotely, like, sensible, I guess, but that's not even the right word.
The other thing is that it's not uncommon to use, like, the details of dead children for, like, stealing their identity and so forth.
Right, yeah.
Some are recruited as Yakumo party members. Those selected become key players in the intelligence.
Oh yeah, Yakumo. That's a word that we've barely heard much of at all in this game, even though it's very important.
The Yakumo.
That's the job of a Yakumo party member.
Yeah, just straight up like a cabinet policy that seems to, like, grant anyone who gains even the smallest access to it, like, enough power and insight to change the world.
Yeah, I think it literally means something like 7 clouds.
It's all over.
It's meant to be something to do with Taoism or Taoism.
I think it's 8. 8 clouds. I think it is because of the...
Yeah, that sounds right.
Only the chosen ones are given such codes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, because it's like, we completely forgot to mention this during Cloud Man, of all things, but, like, the whole reason, like, that Andre Almeida was able to, like, do what he did is because he got just a piece of the Yakumo. And that was enough to get him out of that shit-ass, like, post office job. Which does beg the question in that situation, that's like, if a guy like him was able to use it to make a company that technically doesn't exist, it is only there for commercials, like, that probably tells, and it was only with, like, a fraction of what the policy outlines. Like, you can only imagine then, like, how much more insane it would be if it was, like, someone else that had like more brains or, like, foresight or whatever to, like, actually come up with all that, I guess. All right, so this is all supposed to be... Yep, Park-Reiner. Because all of this is supposed to be, like, a series of passwords that, like, only Amir Park-Reiner would know.
Whoever he is.
Yeah. Student ID, which I already forgotten, but you have it down.
0048.
48.
0158.
0158. State of birth, Alabama. I at least remember that. It's a state. It's not a bunch of numbers. Birth date, which
11/22.
1942.
Yep.
Got it. Blood type, which
this one's interesting.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be based on, like, is it based on, like, a combination of, like, his parents' blood type? Because I know, like, one's like A, the other's O.
Yeah, that actually explains it here. Since his dad is type A and his mother is O, and they don't match their son, it would be either B or AB. And the computer doesn't accept AB. So it's just B.
Ah. Interesting. Father's name is
that one
Michael.
you actually have to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely reminding me how, like, when I last played it, I'm pretty sure I did have a walkthrough up, like, for the puzzle solutions because of this exact same shit.
Yeah.
Alright, so mother's name, Catherine. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's Katharin. Katharin.
Okay. At least it didn't back me out to, like, the very beginning.
Oh god, yeah.
Date of death. Okay, so... That...
0428.
0428.
1952.
Yeah. Kid was barely 10 years old. Social security code.
Eagle.
I had to stop myself for a moment, because it was like, before I remembered, oh yeah, this is Killer7. This isn't the actual United States. No one has a fucking word as their social security number. Eagle isn't even a number. It doesn't have numbers in it.
Yeah, but it's the most American social security number you can have.
Jeez. Yeah, no wonder social security numbers are the way they are, because if it was something like Eagle, literally every patriotic dumbass America would be, like, wanting to pay exorbitant amount of money just to get it for themselves.
Yeah, what's your social security number? Crying Eagle on fire, killing communists.
Jeez. Alright. Time to head over to the gym.
Time to end this.
Beirut. That is a good question, actually. It's almost like this game can't quite decide for itself whether this, like, the point of this plot is Harmon's problem or Garcian's problem.
What it has to do with the war between Japan and America.
Yeah. Or just, like, the bigger conflict of Eastern and Western ideologies.
Mm. Like someone asks you to define the central conflict, and your immediate first question should be, which one?
Yeah. Or just pull one out of your ass and just go, I don't know, anime. I don't know, there seem to be people that are, like, pretty heatedly against that, I suppose.
Anime versus comics, bullets versus skulls, you know.
Okay. Oh, hey, Kess. I guess this will be the last time we see you. It's just a prank, bro.
Just kidding, bro. Just a joke, dude. No need to get all tilty about it. I just wanted a little attention, bro.
Again, they were reluctant to kill Kess, as opposed to Susie, who so much as wanted to join them and was like, no, you're fucked, die.
Yeah, he was like, I just like building bombs.
And it's like, do you even realize who we're fighting?
Yeah, I mean, like, when you think about it, he had the potential to kill way more people than Susie, who just had a habit of killing people who pissed her off.
Yeah, and probably still less potential to kill as many people as the Heaven Smiles already have.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying it's good, but,
yeah,
you know, scale is a thing.
That is one powerful noose holding that man up.
The press is gonna be all over this one. The United States cover will be blown.
So this is dirty politics.
The presidential election is in the hands of the Education Ministry. They manipulate the votes and bring forth political leaders.
Who's he?
Greg Nightmare. He was the chairman of Education
Once again,
Ministry.
fantastic naming. Greg Nightmare.
What is United States?
Followed by one of the best lines.
What is the purpose of the president?
I'm Japanese. How the hell should I know? Figure it out yourself.
Suda's excuse for
There are more
everything
important
to
things.
do with the plot of this game.
Shit.
It's like,
Like
how the
finding out
fuck
who
does this
you
make
are.
sense in the context of the US? I'm Japanese,
Figure it out
dude.
yourself.
Yeah. I am literally from another country. Do you think I have the answers?
More to the point, do you think I give the slightest green-gray fuck? You're gonna be very disappointed on both counts.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's an elderly Go Nagai protagonist.
This is... Oh my god, Harmon was the principal.
Well, this is awkward.
Yeah. Greg's model is very disconcerting to look at.
Yeah, it's the most cartoonish.
Ah. Sorry, hold on. I need to... Yeah, gotta alternate the directions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still taking some amount of damage. There we go.
And then his pants fly off, and you have to shoot the red ball between his legs.
Yeah, that's the part that makes this most disconcerting for me.
You feeling okay, Suda?
Like, big obese man with purple legs. And a big swollen gonads.
Big obese man with purple legs, no pants, and a gigantic ball.
Yeah.
And then we get a horrible reprise of Alter Ego.
Yeah, and these things, shooting them does nothing, and they always kill you in one hit.
Mm-hmm.
It does serve a point, though. With how it's lit here, it does make things a little bit creepy that the only thing you can make out of their physical form are, like, their teeth and eyes.
Yeah. Like, one of the bad guys in Sailor Moon. He was a complete black silhouette except for his glasses, which were 2 white circles. And remarkably creepy.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Remember first time I saw it, I was like, okay, and you're telling me this is a girl's anime and not some kind of fucking H.P. Lovecraft shit?
Well, you tried, Coyote.
You did better than the others, which is to say, not at all.
Mm-hmm. Khan, though, he's the best boy. He can do it. I believe in him.
Con, he's our boy. If he can't do it, we're fucked.
Oh.
No, your awesome shoes have failed us.
Now, surely the main event can solve this.
I mean, he's got cutscene attacks.
They know who's the strongest.
Yeah, why not? Nope.
The power of Macross and wrestling have failed us.
At least I could kill the frame rate.
But not the past.
And so the future refused to change.
Arsene, what's he gonna do?
Only he can use this.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, that worked remarkably reasonably well.
Yep, going by Bond logic, any gun that's golden is always the most powerful. And that's it for the school. Now,
Well, time to go, boys.
Yeah, time for the finale, which is always yeah.
Well, I'm sure everything will get cleared up any minute now.
Maybe. At least even with
the
like
ending, they have to.
At least
Right.
with what's established with kind of what this game does. I mean, like, just the plot is so much of it is so incomprehensible and feels like that it is missing one too many pieces that should be considered important. But it still manages to at least succeed at, like, doing the thing that pseudo-directed games have always been pretty good at, which is using whatever weird gameplay design decisions as a sort of thing to, like, back up the intent of, like, of the story.
Yeah, I think for all its
I hope
failings,
you had a
the game
pleasant
works
day,
well
sir.
on an emotional level.
It does,
Enjoy
yeah.
Like you can't explain it, but you can get it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, on one level, you could get it in the sense that this game is basically all about, like, representation of, like, the sort of, like, eternal conflict between Eastern and Western ideologies. But also, you could also say it has a lot to do with the predetermined nature of things, I guess.
What makes a killer? Can you do bad things for a good purpose? Yeah, there's you can read a lot into the game and not have it come across as complete bullshit.
Yeah. And at least with this, you get to see what it was that actually killed the Killer 7.
And all of them make sense on a conceptual level.
Yeah,
when you
conceptually,
consider
it
their
does.
powers.
Yeah.
Like the thing
Timeline-wise,
about-
timeline-wise, though, especially when it comes to Dan, somewhat less so. Because he
Yeah.
is the only person of this team who has technically died twice.
Yeah. It's like, before he died, Kevin was meant to be a master of disguise, but whoever this is saw right through him, which is why he can turn invisible. Con was completely distracted by his headphones and didn't hear whoever it was that was coming for him, so now he has super hearing.
Yeah. And even, like, as we're going to each one, notice how when, like, I'm going through all these floors now, there is basically no option for branching paths.
Yeah.
It's
This is a straight A to B.
Yeah. And, like, and even just the way that it's presenting that self in terms of gameplay is, like, further solidifying the point of, like, what I was talking about as far as, like, the predetermined angle of everything. Because it's like, no, you're kind of having to confront this whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Now this one... Ah, yes, it's Mask. Clearly, because he did not have the power of his wrestling mask, he could not defend himself.
Yep. The Mask is seen to be the most physically capable and powerful. But he was killed at his most vulnerable moment, essentially.
Yep.
It's hard to get more vulnerable than in the shower. Unless, you're Travis touched and someone comes after you while you're on the shower.
Yeah. And even then, it's like he only gets bailed out because his asshole brother shows up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like no branching paths, no enemies. It's hauntingly quiet in this hotel. Like, this is... Yeah, like on emotional level, this is like a very effective finale.
Mm.
Because it's like you don't have any other choices at this point.
No dialogue whatsoever, if you don't include the screams.
Mm-hmm. Oh, poor Coyote. Room not found. But yes, now going with like the themes and such, it's like this one's a little bit weird considering we solved the puzzle in this room that required masks specifically.
Yeah,
But like
this one's more kind of vague.
Yeah, the idea is that she thought that she could like hide her that like putting like a certain barrier like that between her and whatever's trying to kill her would like protect her, and like that didn't help. And what she gained in death was more like the ability to break down barriers in her own way, stuff that like most other people wouldn't even think to like have anything hidden behind.
Also,
and, which is
blood
why
stains
when
on her dress.
Yeah, because, yeah, bloodstain on her dress as well. And that's why it's like, when you use, like, the ability to, like, spray blood over walls, it's like, it's supposed to reveal things, you know? Or, like, dispel barriers.
Yeah. And the blood stain on her dress, if you remember, they said that any spirits covered in blood were traitors. It's supposed to have been suggested that she was the one who gave away their position if she would be spared.
Yeah, that's true. That or also, like, I think I originally assumed it was such where it was like she didn't, she was just more focused on saving herself when the time came as opposed to trying to help out any of her other, like, comrades. But, like,
Yeah.
but like, both are pretty valid.
Yeah.
She was definitely, like, feeling, like, most vulnerable and kind of, like, scared for her life throughout the whole thing.
Also, another way of looking at it is that she has a Desert Eagle with a scope, so she can take out targets from far away, whereas her killer was like within arm's length of her.
Yeah. So it's just like all like, yeah, it all plays into her playstyle where it's like, if you're playing as Coyote, you want the most distance and protection between you and the enemy as possible.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with her.
Mm-hmm. Would have been nice to have the full story that we probably could have gotten something resembling like a character chapter for her. I imagine there would have been some neat stuff from that.
Yeah, I just want to go over to the universe that got killer7 complete.
Yeah. Still get all the same chapters that we got in this, plus more that were like character focused the same way Dan's were. Maybe a chapter or two that, like, hammers home more the connections with, like, the silver case. But then again, that would also mean probably rewriting the plot to make it so that air travel and the internet actually exist. Because that's completely gone from here, or at least, like... Well, like, air travel's gone. The internet, I'm pretty sure, still exists, but is an entirely criminal thing now.
Yeah.
And here's Coyote. Yeah, this one is very much getting the jump on Coyote in a way that, like, he was eventually able to do on his own in death.
Yep, he was outmaneuvered when he died, so he's able to outmaneuver everyone else.
With the power of think. We're just gonna keep beating this joke into the ground.
Power of think did not save him that time.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, could have passed through solid objects.
No, that was Kevin.
Well, he could only really pass through lasers is the thing.
Yeah, but in this game they might as well be solid objects.
I guess, yeah. That, or it's just more like everyone else, like, every other character doesn't even try to, like, pass through them. Like, regardless of the control you try to put over them. Because, let's be real, this game is all about highlighting how little control you actually have over your characters. They're on a rail, for God's sake. And here's Dan.
You must be the one they call the Bloody Heartland. You here to kill the Smiths, is that it? Rule of thumb, don't set your goals too high.
He's got a pretty cool tattoo on his left shoulder.
Who do you want, huh?
Yeah, I always forget that he's got that.
Mm-hmm. And Dan's, like, death is that he could not back up the shit that he was talking.
Yeah, between this and the new opening for Travis Strikes Again, you get the feeling that a lot of his legend was essentially based on him being the scariest fucker in the room.
Yep.
And then he met someone who was not scared of him at all.
Exactly. And so in order to make himself the scariest motherfucker again, he was only able to, like, shoot balls of light.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of his reputation seemed to be trading on the fact he had a reputation.
Very much so. And that, of course, he also died twice.
Yeah.
Which is, like, is always a thing that, like, I bring up when it comes to, like, the difficulty of explaining what the fuck this hit was. Like, how it fits, like, timeline-wise, and, like, what happened to everyone. Because, it's very barely, if at all, explained in the game itself. A hand in Killer 7 obviously gives a term to, like, describe it, which I'm forgetting specifically what it is, but I think it's multifilia personae, like, disorder or syndrome or whatever it is, but
something like that, yeah.
But the whole idea is that, like, there's, like, a specific, like, in-universe term for describing the phenomenon that is the Killer 7, how it is basically multiple characters occupying, like, that are, like, personas occupying the same body, and that basically on how they're being perceived at any given moment, primarily via CCTVs or other cameras as the transmission medium, then, like, that's how they're able to manifest.
Yeah, it's sort of equal parts spiritual possession and shapeshifting.
Yes.
But not really.
Yeah, and the problem that comes with it is trying to find, the, like, who is actually, like, the original persona that is, like, in control of all these. And depending on which source you're going with, it's either meant to be Garcian or it's meant to be Harmon. Or maybe both, at which point it's like, that's still not a good answer.
And that somehow Mask is the most important of them.
Yeah, and also that Dan had died twice, which leads to the question, okay, was this other death before this hit on the Union? Or was it after? Is there, like... Are, like, the player deaths technically non-canon, and, like, Dan ended up dying a second time in a way that was similar to what happens if you were to die as him in this game.
Led to this place.
Yeah, I vaguely recall someone
here,
reading somewhere that
I think it's time I
when he's sitting in that chair, he's meant to be bandaged up after having taken a few shots. So, you know, you could kind of consider that to be his first death.
Maybe.
But it never really comes across in the cutscene.
Yeah, it was hard to tell if there even were bandages. All you could tell is just he just had a tank top and pants.
The killer, the assassin, Emir Parkrider.
And here's young Harmon.
The ace of aces.
With Dwight Schultz just dropping the fake old man voice entirely. And sounding way more cool and sinister because of it.
Toward the Smith Alliance.
Yeah.
It consisted of 7 members.
Yeah, the guy next to him is Dimitri Nightmare. Which is, like, again, fucking awesome name.
It's an awesome name that is never mentioned in the game and only in Hand in Killer 7.
Called them the Killer
7. And we never find out his relation to Greg.
The whole affair was never made public.
Yep.
Not because this was an aberration
So yeah,
from
the
society.
whole reason for the name
Because it involved national security issues.
And the whole reason for the name Killer7 is that it refers to this hit on the Smith Syndicate, where the six of them were killed in this hotel, and the seventh, presumably Harmon, was brutally murdered and had his body stuffed into the Coburn Elementary School safe.
You were one of the very few assassins with class, but you were out of control. Still, there was something venerable about you. Then it occurred to me, you were no longer a mortal being. Within you, ever so quietly, evil had opened its eyes.
That explains everything.
I guess.
Except for the part where it blatantly does not.
Yeah, and it just makes you realize that, like, even more now that it had been this way this entire time, is that despite being called the Killer7, there's technically 8 members.
Yeah. I remember that being mentioned in basically every review at the time. Saying, they're the Killer7, meet all 8 of them?
Yeah. Because I guess, like, Garcian's supposed to be the outlier.
Garcian doesn't count. Don't ask about Susie or Samantha either.
Yeah.
What took you so long?
Just that. If it's not clear at this point, it's like, you could at least probably piece together by then this, like, if a character has the name Smith as their last name, that means they are now brought into the fold of, like, Harmon's multiple persona.
Interrupted again.
Has another come to
Or Garcian's, because, again, it kind of, it's hard to tell or whether or not even fucking matters who's the one that's actually in charge of them.
For a long time.
Yeah, you can't, like...
Please.
You could argue that, characters like Susie and Samantha are essentially multi-purpose personas, and that they take care of things that aren't to do with killing.
Yeah.
But again, what do they factor into the whole multiple personality thing?
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, 3 eyes.
You got something in your face there, buddy. Boom! Headshot.
Mm-hmm. But at least with this scene, though, I think it's supposed to be the one that leads people to, like, keep falling back to the idea initially that, like, Garcian is the one in charge of the personas because of, like, what gets shown right here before the credits roll.
Well, and the fact that he's the only one left standing.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of makes him the dude in charge by default.
No. It wasn't me. It can't be. It's all a misunderstanding.
And he sits covered in blood front and back, which is interesting.
Yeah. White suit with red.
Mm-hmm. Mark of a traitor.
And then he had their weapons.
The dog all along.
Yeah. Again, in the grand scheme of things, still hard to make any fucking sense of it.
Yeah.
But it still somehow manages to wring some, like, emotional gut punch out of you.
Yeah. Like I said, you can get it on an emotional level, but trying to explain it to anyone's like,
Yeah, the emotional level you get out of this is realizing that, at least one of the easier things to understand, that Garcian was Emir.
Yeah.
Like, that much is obvious. We even heard him speak in one of the flashbacks. That was clearly Greg Eagle's voice. So it's like...
And also, he's like the only... That kid at the end is like the only other black character in the entire thing.
Well, I mean, Andre Almeida's technically black.
Yeah, that's true.
But
okay, I'll give you that one.
But yeah, it's like... Oh yeah, there's Zebek, the alter ego, and of course, like, the anime opening cutscene for Sunset.
Yep. a lot of people at the time thought it was two different animation companies because, you know, no animation company can do different art styles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the art and like the anime cutscenes in Cloudman are like from like a different production studio. That much is true. Like it shows it here in the credits. It's just that any of the cutscenes that were very clearly traditional anime were done by the same studio. But yeah, and this also technically still isn't the end of the game, funny enough.
No.
Because this whole chapter was basically dedicated to Garcian having to kill his past. in a obvious nod back to Suda's earlier works, even though this game has nothing to do with the universe of the Silver Case.
Yeah.
Despite originally being part of that. But something clearly changed at a point. Probably because I guess Suda maybe thought that since all of his previous games didn't come outside of Japan, it was like, maybe that part might be a bit too much for people to try and like piece together. Oh well.
Although it's been retroactively added in as of Travis Strikes Again.
True. But that also, of course, still means that they need to like if a theoretical like remake of this game were to exist, not just the HD port, then obviously major story rewrites need to happen to begin with to make it even the least bit compatible.
Oh no, that like if they were to do if they were to do Killer 7 complete, it would need to be a page 1 rewrite.
Mm-hmm. Like dig up all those old drafts for the story, like different character ideas, Jacob's checkbox, all that. Just like put that all into one thing. Like go like near replicant version 1.pi, whatever the fuck.
Oh,
and
God.
But even bigger, because I at least know that even though I've not played that remake of the original Nier, I at least know that they added ending E. Which means something, like if you were the least bit familiar with Grimoire Nier for like a decade.
Yeah. I have it, actually, a copy of Grimoire Nier.
Nice.
Yeah, I managed to get it for only like 20 quid, which, you know, bargain.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
I actually got it sitting right next to my copies of the Nier Automata World Guide, Volume 1 and 2. Because,
Nice.
you know, bit of a fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the main problem with it is that there's translations of all the short stories in it, but there's a lot of information that's basically either not been translated or, you know, just essentially summarized.
Yeah.
And that with the summaries, that can vary a lot depending on who's translated it.
Oh, absolutely.
And what their understanding is. So
yeah. Like, I still have that old Google Docs link of, like, Grimoire Nier translations, which is obviously, like, most of it, like, a good portion of it that is directly translated, and others that are just summarized, and others that are just skipped. So it's obviously not, like, it's not the most complete thing ever, but at least gets enough of what you want to understand from it, you know? Between
the actual book itself is about 128 pages or so.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of interviews and a lot of short stories. And as I said, the short stories have been done, but not that much else other than the weapon stories.
Look at how powerful we are. We can just lock on target, shoot all these heaven smiles, and not even need to use a vision ring.
Son of a bitch, son of a bitch, son of a bitch, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That's lying in a nutshell.
Oh yeah. Yep,
so, Garcian's eyes are green now.
Yeah. Or as we should call him, Amir Park Reiner, the Bloody Heartland. Because that's who he really is now.
Or if you're going by hand in Killer 7, Delta Head Smith or Delta Head Harmon.
Delta Head, yeah.
Because of the 3 eyes.
Mm-hmm. Which isn't really visible right now, but he clearly had to reawaken his 3rd eye after that whole shit at the Union.
Yeah, I think he's got a very, very slightly visible scar on his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
but it's because of the camera angles and that is a complete pain in the ass to see.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where you'd easily be forgiven for just thinking it's like texture blurring or something.
True. Obviously, I imagine that's a detail that'd be even easier to see if you're just like playing the PC version and got higher resolutions to work with.
Yeah.
But I do like this epilogue chapter, as it were, because after like the sort of downer ender and like emotional gut punch of Smile, like this one has a nice thing that when you really think about it in the context of like how the gameplay of Killer 7 has informed the story, I think is pretty genius. It is the sort of thing where like, for all of my misgivings about like the nature of the plot and details missing, this is what still kind of what always ties it back together for me.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's not so much that it makes sense, it's that it's satisfying.
Yeah, like for instance, we finally get to go through this fucking door. Because, surprise, it was on this Battleship Isle the entire time, which is the final location of the game.
Yeah, Battleship Isle's actually mentioned right near the very beginning as an artificial island. And then is promptly forgotten about for the next 10 hours.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's the sort of thing where, like, up to this point, like, despite having a couple branching paths, like, our movements have been on a rail this entire time. So many of, like, the boss fights you could consider not even proper boss fights because they have a very predetermined nature to them. Like the Julia fight where it's like all you can do is just stand there and shoot. And, like, there's the
Handsome Men.
Handsome Men is, like, the outcome's always the same. There's obviously like the smiles that end up killing all of your persona in the last chapter we were at.
Yep.
But then after all that, you get to this.
Yeah, we've been led by the nose the entire game.
You don't need to go around killing everybody anymore.
Which is something that gets reinforced even more if you go by Checo's checkbox in Hand and Killer 7. Because the entire idea behind that is Jacob, like, trying to, like,
all of them.
Out of a fit of grief of revenge, try and, like, find, like, what needs to be done to create a future in which there are no more Heaven Smiles.
Terrorism is the law.
Yeah, he's trying to simultaneously break the shackles of fate and reinforce them.
Know what I mean?
So no wonder it goes a bit loopy.
You'll run for your money. Even an assassin like yourself. Better be prepared. Because blood must atone for blood.
Yeah, and so what we're being confronted with by Matsuken is the matter of, do we kill him or not? If we kill him, Japan is done for completely, like any of like Japanese movement against the US for what happened to their country getting blown up. Like, US wins. If we let him live, then Japan will be able to rise again and, like, strike back against the US for retribution. This game has never really given you any semblance of having a choice, just being, like, an assassin that's, like, a tool for the government. And it feels, like, very fitting that, that basically, after realizing your true self, after, like, reliving and killing your past at the Union Hotel, is when you finally... Garcian basically reclaims himself as Amir and gets to make an actual choice.
Thing is, though, the one choice you're given, one true choice you're given in the entire game, and it's a terrible one because no matter what you do, millions die.
Yeah, like, are we gonna let the US keep going, doing its awful shit? Or do we give Japan a shot, a country that is also plagued with its own terminal case of out-of-touch conservative old men?
Yeah. Which flavor of dickery do you want, exactly?
Yeah. Japan has cooler giant robots. I'll spare them.
See, I chose that simply because I was like, well, we've killed literally everything this game so far. Let's not for once.
Yeah. Well, we'll let him do the killing on his terms. I'm just gonna stay out of it.
Yeah, strictly speaking, our hands are clean on this one.
Absolutely.
We're not to blame for the consequences, probably.
Oh, hey, Harmon. We're back here.
Harmon is dead. So we've gone from Battleship Island to... ...
Yep. TV channels don't work. Blood Machine closed. Yeah, weird that, like, Battleship Island just leads us directly back to our trailer. Almost like this place was possibly just a mindscape.
Yes, our trailer with its worryingly spacious basement.
Yeah. I love this series of camera angles.
Yeah, just enough to see that there's something there.
Fuck you, Iwazaru. And... oh shit, it was Kunlan. I guess?
Yeah, no one can explain that shit.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the one thing where, like, I don't mind that there isn't, like, a proper, like, explanation for that.
Yeah.
Like, all that really matters is that that's supposed to be the last Heaven Smile, and, like, that threat is now gone.
Yeah.
So in a sense... yeah, as Japan, the UN, and its UN party is getting ready to rip America a new one.
It's incredibly slow-flying jets.
Retribution definite. UN allied forces launched a full-scale attack on the United States. Now we're gonna get the actual credits.
Some seriously badass music.
Yep. And a much more interesting text placement for like its credits, rather than just a simple like text scroll.
Yeah, it kind of feels like this was more of a reward. Like, now you're finished.
Yeah.
Except...
yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, this game has more post-credit scenes than your average Marvel movie.
Yeah, tell me about it. Oh, man. I do have to wonder if maybe the Japanese version of this, like, because of, like, the way, like, the text is positioned and whatnot, I wonder if they, like, had, like, just, like, Japanese characters or kana to, like, for the names instead. I imagine it would look kind of cool with the way that, like the people's names are, like, bigger than the titles itself and how they're positioned along the corners.
Possible, but I played quite a few Japanese games which had their text scrolls in English anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense. Shanghai, 100 years later. What? Well, okay. What do we got now?
Isn't this where we came in?
Oh, great.
It's almost like it's some kind of eternal recurrence.
East versus West will never die!
Except arguably, they've taken opposite sides this time. At least that was one interpretation that I saw.
Yeah, could be either.
You're awake from your nightmare.
Harmon, the world won't change.
All it does is turn.
Now, let's dance.
The end. No moral. Like
Go
that.
home. What are you still doing here? It's over.
The end?
Oh god, no.
I love how, like, the true end is the one where they put a question mark at the end of the end. Whereas the clearly fake one was like, no, the end. Oh my goodness. What a hell of a game.
It's... Yeah, it still holds up. The only problem I ever have with it is the fact that I want there to be more of it.
Same, absolutely. That'd be real nice.
There are quite a few, like, actual negatives you could, throw at the game. And yeah, the majority of them are perfectly valid. But it's still a really good game.
Yeah. And it's like, as far as Suda's games go, I still like No More Heroes 1 more. I feel like that has a bit more personal significance to me. But this is still really good, and it's like totally understanding when people call this like his magnum opus, because it's like in almost all respects it's very deserving of it. Even if I do wish that like the puzzles weren't what they were, or that the plot had more to it. But everything else is pretty dope.
I think it's probably the most complete of his games. And everything kind of comes together at the end for all its failings. It's definitely more than the sum of its parts. But in a way that, say, No More Heroes or Killer is Dead aren't.
Yeah.
Like we definitely bragged a lot about Shadows of the Damned.
Boy, did we.
that was a game that was assembled by committee.
Yeah.
Whereas this is pure strain Suda 51.
Yeah, just the way you could tell it's a pure strain if you actually let the man direct his shit. Just don't try and like attach so many other things to it, please.
Yeah. Like even Travis Strikes Again kind of felt like it was him digging at works by committee quite a bit.
A bit, but it's like I feel like there was, even in that case, he's still having like a bit more control in those instances, because I mean, like, there's a whole ton of like references and like cross promotion with a bunch of different indie games and such, and of course the very obvious like bite the hand that feeds you, kind of like mocking appreciation of how the whole game's powered by Unreal Engine 4. But yeah, it's still closer to it's still closer to stuff like what this or No More Heroes 1 has, where it just feels so, it is so him, is the thing. But yeah, that's that game. I'm not doing Killer 8 mode, even though I did go through the mode just because it's like, come on. One playthrough of that was enough in my life.
Yeah, as I said, I got through about the first third of the game just using Young Harmon. Then died and nearly broke my fingers trying to revive him. And I was like, nope, enough of this for me, thank you.
Yeah, I just because it's like I just stuck with Khan and like just like, well, it was a mix of Young Harmon for a lot of the smiles, and then just taking all the thick blood I earned and dumping it into Khan so I could get critical lock on unlocked faster. Because once you got that, it's like, then everything is no longer a problem. But yeah, so that's done. There's obviously other plans I got going on. I guess I might also segue this into just talking about what sort of plans I got on for the next streams going forward. For one, I guess the part that may or may not seem crazy is that I am literally going to be online streaming again, literally later this day, just because I feel like I want to get back to doing the nightly streams, and I don't feel like waiting till tomorrow or Friday, so fuck it, I'm just going to do it Wednesday.
You madman, you fool!
Yeah, and the reason for that is because I have also been itching a whole lot to show off a particular thing that I've had. I've already mentioned it before. You could already guess. I got like a VTuber avatar. That was something that like I had been I've been pretty looking forward to getting, especially since I had finally enough money set aside to just commission something. So if I can get this to show up. Yeah, this is it.
So what kind of anime cat girl is that exactly?
This one. Yep, I wasn't lying when I said that I very specifically requested this to like the the one designing the model for this. That's like, okay, like I have gestures that I want, the two like hand gestures. One of them absolutely needs to be this.
I was the first person flipped off. I feel honored.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, like, I have a thumbs up as well, although it's kind of covered up by the avatar at the moment, but that's fine.
Yeah, I was joking that I should get like a little animated GIF of me for my picture that just talks so it just animates whenever I talk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I have the I did find a link for the Discord reactive images kind of like overlay thing where like where like if you were to like give me like maybe this is something we could discuss later for like the next time we decide to like do a stream with both of us on. I could at least see about getting that set up so that it will actually like show your image as being dimmed when you're not talking, but when you do talk, it lights up to kind of indicate. That'd be nice.
Maybe get someone to animate the icon that I've got there so that whenever I'm talking, it looks like Arios is munching the baby.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be pretty good.
And the watchers munching Arios on alternate frames.
Oh man. Oh.
That would be terrible and wonderful.
Yeah, I think that'll be something we'll have to think about when we do another like the dual stream with us, which is probably I'm going to save that for when I'm at the right time and place to do that idea we talked about during the first near the end of the first killer7 stream of just
the Kingdom Hearts one.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 final mix. Just play through, skip all the cutscenes, and you reinterpret what the fuck even happens in those.
Yeah, just me with like a case of coffee, just being like, okay, so it's like, and then this happened, and he's talking to this guy. Oh, I didn't tell you about this guy. Okay, so we're going back to the first game.
Yeah. And that's fun. And hopefully by the time we get to playing that, like, it'll obviously have been, like, months past since I last played the game. So, like, when I'm ready to tackle that again, I won't feel so burned out about the fact that I just spent 30 fucking hours, like, doing everything on this while skipping all cutscenes. Because, yeah, it's, like, kind of surprising. Like, you don't realize how much faster that fucking prologue goes when you realize that, like, skipping all cutscenes and doing the bare minimum just gets you through that like Roxas section in like a third of the time. Like you just cut down from 3 hours to 1. It's nuts.
Oh yeah, I remember when the game first came out, none of the Roxas stuff had been featured in any press.
Yeah.
And you know, back then it was mostly just IGN and magazines that you could get this info from.
Yeah, IGN and GameSpot, all the usual big sources.
Yeah. So, you know, info back in, 2006, 2007? A lot thinner on the ground.
Yeah, that's true.
And, you know, I imagine they were under some kind of embargo to not tell anyone about the opening 5 hours.
Yeah, like a reverse Metal Gear Solid 2 situation.
Exactly. So
which is weird, though, because I think even after going through that, I was like, I mean... I don't know. This is me kind of showing like more credit to Kingdom Hearts story than I think it deserves, and its characters. But I felt like even after going through all that, I was like, yeah, I get gameplay wise, barely anything happens in Roxas's stories, but he's at least more interesting than Sora.
Well, that's the thing, because it's like his entire storyline doesn't play out in Kingdom Hearts 2. importance is in like 3 other completely different games.
I mean, his most important like story bits is like in a 3D is in a DS game of all things.
Yeah, like his storyline is split between Days and Kingdom Hearts 3, you know, with little bits and pieces scattered elsewhere. But
Which is
when,
yeah.
like I said, when one of my friends was like, okay, I've just got Kingdom Hearts 2, you need to come over so we can see this. So I was like, oh, okay. So puts the game in, watches the opening cutscene, and he's like, oh my god, this is going to be great. And then, who the fuck is this blonde kid? Wait, that's not Sora.
Why is Jesse McCartney in my anime game?
What? Who's this girl? Why? What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Even without the context of like of 358 or like any of the other stuff that had him, I still think it was like when it was getting back to Sora. That was still the point where I was like, oh yeah, this game's story is not for me. Sora is a fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
You know it's telling when Goofy, of all things, is the one with the common sense.
Yeah, like every major realization in the plot is just Goofy going, now hang on a minute.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. What if it's this? And everyone just going, holy shit, Goofy, you're a genius. What happened?
Goofy knows how to tell, like, Mulan's a woman.
Yeah. It's like, Goofy's just sort of like, oh yeah, I just figured that out. Like, did you guys not see it?
Yeah. I know I come off as silly and oblivious.
Now, I may just be a simple country dog thing,
but I have the same urges as everyone else.
Okay. You made it weird, dude. You made it weird.
No, it's just like, I couldn't help it. I was just remembering that fucking comic of where it's like Goofy giving Max the talk about sex. And it's just like Max still like is like in constant disbelief about it's like I can't imagine you possibly of like being like my blood related father. I just thought I was like adopted or something. And it's just him going where it's like just the whole thing where he's like, yeah, even though he's comes off as a dumbass, he still has the same urges as everyone. Your dad doesn't just have sex, Max. Your dad fucks.
Hey, Goofy is canonically the one Disney character out of the original classic group who has definitely fucked.
Yes, that's true.
Like we know this for a fact.
Yeah, it's like, you may not be able to know what Mickey and Minnie do in their personal time, but it's like, that almost doesn't matter because you've not seen anything that is like the proof of that. Goofy has that proof. He has a goddamn son. Oh, wow.
Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more of our fascinating Kingdom Hearts Disney canon talk.
And look forward to, like, when I stream, like, about 5 to 6 hours from now. Again, just by myself to keep giving this Avatar a bit more, like, putting it through its paces and, switch over from Nintendo to Xbox, because I think, fuck it, I'm gonna use this time to do that Jet Set Radio Future playthrough I've been meaning to for a while, where I have Jet Set Radio Live playing in the background as the music source.
Ooh, funky.
Yeah, DMCA does not understand the concept of love.
Some of you don't understand the concept of love, and it really shows.
Exactly. Yeah, funny enough, I was at one of the things I was actually originally deciding on maybe streaming after this was the Hurricane Pack 1 for Ninja Gaiden, just because it's like, because it's like, that's the one, that Hurricane Pack is like the one piece of like recorded content I've not done for any Ninja Gaiden on my channel, LP or otherwise. Because back when I did the LP for Black and Sigma, I did show a little bit of the vanilla game, but at the time I did not have a solution for getting access to the saves for Hurricane Pack 1 and actually accessing them. Now I do, however. And part of me was thinking that maybe and I kind of decided as I was going through the head of like what I wanted to stream next, that I'll probably save that for after Jet Set Radio, because probably by then it'll be closer to when the Ninja Gaiden Trilogy Collection comes out. and I'm just gonna use that and turn my stream into a PSA of don't buy the trilogy collection. Because I have a feeling that that collection is gonna be coming in hot as in a hot steaming pile, because holy shit, some of the stuff I am hearing from people that got review copies and are under embargo to not show any footage of it.
Let me guess, they're pulling no reviews out until the day of release so that we can try and con some people into into buying it before they realize what a mistake they've made, kind of thing?
Probably. I just know one guy in like one of the Discords I'm in, he shared from like another Discord he was in, someone that apparently gotten the review copies for it, and was like, left an ominous comment of, so I am reviewing, so I got a review code for a trilogy collection, and all I can say is that I can see very clearly now that dismembering limbs was an integral part of this franchise.
So not Mass Effect, then?
No, and not Dead Space.
Well, you know, if they brought out a Dead Space trilogy, I'd be on that like blood on the walls.
Yeah. Seriously, though, the fucking implication of that was that apparently, like, there are no limbs that come off, decapitations or otherwise, in any of those games on the review copy. Like, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, without limbs coming off. Like, at least they recognized to do that. They just gimped it with purple fart gas. Like, why the fuck? How would that work?
Granted, I didn't play as much of 2 as the others, but like you so much to sneeze in the direction of an enemy in 2 and their limbs went flying in 8 directions.
Yeah, like they were fragile, but it's like just thinking of how animations change when a limb goes off in Ninja Gaiden 2, be it like the arm or a leg, and it's like actual like enemy like movements and animations and all that change drastically as a result, and it's kind of necessary to have the limb be gone in order to recognize that they're in a different state. And it's just like, okay, if the reason for this is that like that this is only in the review code because it does not have the day one patch, because most games these days have it, why the fuck would that be something you leave out of a day one out of the game before a day one patch? But like, think it's still fine for reviewers.
See, I've received a lot of copies of games during the PS4 era, like a week or more before their release, and if there's been a day one patch, I've been able to download it there and then. Yeah. So if there's no patch available for download, that would, reinstate any kind of dismemberment, that suggests to me that no, there's no dismemberment in it, and it's not going to be re-enabled at all.
Which sounds absolutely fucked. Because it's like, decapitations in 1 I could understand if that was left off, because even like all the old versions of Ninja Gaiden 1, Vanilla, Black, Sigma, like each region's release of those games like had differences whether or not they would have decapitations or not. I think North America was like the only like region where it was like all 3 versions, all 3 releases had decapitations, because it's America, who cares?
Yeah, European version definitely didn't have any kind of dismemberment in it until the second game.
Yeah.
It was in the third game as well. But yeah, I think it's probably because, that kind of bloody dismemberment is really starting to be cracked down on heavily in Japan.
That really should not be any excuse, though, as far as like releasing it elsewhere in the world. Fucking Capcom puts out like Z-rated editions that you can download for new Resident Evil games.
Yeah, they shouldn't, but we live in an era where companies are determined to get the most money for the least amount of work.
Yeah,
so,
and it's like
really surprising.
And it's like, this is just proof of 2 things. 1, this is why you should properly archive your fucking source code. Because otherwise you would have had an easier time satisfying the people that know that Black is the best version of Ninja Gaiden 1, and that more people would rather play 2 vanilla, warts and all, rather than your overcorrected, like, lukewarm shit stain that is Sigma 2. And then the
I
second
remember.
one is that this is why you give this kind of job to people whose main goal is porting and remastering old stuff, because clearly that's a skill set that has next to no overlap with developers who are primarily focused on just designing new stuff and moving forward. Team Ninja's
Yeah.
clearly in the latter, because the games that they have done recently, be it either stuff that is like all them, like Neo, or stuff that they've done as grunt work, like on Three Houses, or any of like assisting Omega Force with like the various licensed Muso games, it's like they're clearly better suited for that at this point. Just give this to a studio that would actually be willing to either sift through your source code to make something that is like presentable in HD format, or just put in the extra work to like make like your own like OG Xbox or 360 emulator to run the game on top of. Because let's be real, it's like people already have that option. It's if they own any Xbox platform at this point.
And it doesn't help that when it comes to remasters in general, it's a crapshoot as to whether it's going to be any good or not. Like, for every, say, Devil May Cry trilogy, which was a very solid remastering.
It's solid, even though like there's especially with like people that I've talked with, there are definitely very specific, like hard to notice for the regular person, like technical or audio problems or what have you that are like, but there's the sort of things where they don't get in the way of the actual like playability of things, But yeah.
Stuff that like, if you're like knee deep in, like frame shifts and, like super into maximizing your combo potential, that's there's a lot to notice there. But if you're just like, I want to play Devil May Cry and don't want to get my PS2 out of storage, completely fine.
Yeah,
And
admittedly,
then
it's
you've got
like
stuff
because
like-
I bought that the PC version of the HD collection simply because it was like, the novelty of having those old DMC games on PC in a non-emulator environment is like that's worthy enough of the price of admission, more than I felt with like the with when it came out like on the regular consoles,
Yeah, I mean, I got it for the PS4 for about £8, which for one of the best action games of all time, bargain.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just like getting to play Devil May Cry 3 and having it look good was completely worth the price of admission for me there and then.
Plus, you got it on PS4, which means that by that point they had fixed the Kalina Ann glitch. So it's like, yeah, that's definitely better than how it was on 360 and PS3, because like just the move where you like shot out like the bayonet tether on the Kalina Ann rocket launcher just did not grab enemies and pull them to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did have the PS3 version at some point, but gave a loan of it to someone and never saw them again.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah, weirdly enough, the times that I played the PS3 version and PC version of the HD collection, I only ever spent really time on just DMC1 of all things. Because it's
Funnily
like...
enough, yeah, because I'd never finished that on the PS2.
Yeah, that and like the PS2 version of DMC1, like specifically the North American one, is so weird because it fucks up the button layout and is like 20% harder by default, whereas the HD collection is based on the original Japanese version, so it's like it's still hard but more sensible in like damage output and the fact that X is jump and not triangle.
Yeah, I remember when I played the special edition of 3, and I was like, oh wait, this actually feels fair.
Yeah, but especially because that's kind of a weird thing. Kind of similar, but in 3 it was obviously more egregious because of how like normal in vanilla 3 was just hard. It was just hard mode.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people. It's like, if I'm wanting to play hard mode, I will play hard mode. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
don't go shifting everything up one step on my account.
Yeah, it's like for that reason that it reminds me why I played the version of Contra Hardcore that like brought it more in line with the Japanese release. Because guess what? Japanese version of Hardcore has a hit point system, and that game is designed for it.
Yep.
You try playing North American or European version, you're basically asking for the reaming of a lifetime.
Yeah, no, I like having thumbs and working controllers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when there are certain sections late in the game where it's like you kind of need to have the hit points there as a safety net because some shit's like, how would you ever react to this?
Yeah. No, like I'm all for a challenge, but when a game starts actively fucking with me, and just being unfair, no, I'm just gonna go somewhere else for my fun. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
Like there's a very, very thin line between challenging and frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And when I start bumping up against that, I'm gone. Unless
Yeah.
I really like the game.
It's a thin line that is similar to the one in between controls that are unique and designed for the game it is, or just bad.
Gun Valkyrie.
Oh god. It's funny you mention that because I literally wrote about that on my blog on my website about that very same subject. Like the thin line between unconventional and poor controls. Because it is the sort of thing with that game where it's like you can tell what it wants, like if you do a little bit of research into what it actually wants from you and like the way it controls makes more sense then. But it's so frustrating in the sense that like you can't uninvert the aim, and there's like the sense that you could have like you could have remapped some of those buttons in a few more key areas. And the fact that like Metal Wolf Chaos is, I think, a better representation of the kind of gameplay that Gun Valkyrie was wanting to, with more sensible controls. Because both are all about chaining air dashes indefinitely until you screw up and land.
Yeah, there's quite a few games which have a reputation for being bad, but at the end of the day, I think it's just like if the controls were slightly better, then people would, reevaluate them.
Yeah, like controls or any other like possible extra factor that like really should not be impacting it as much as it is and requires more of like a open mind, I guess, as it were.
Yeah, just there's a lot of rough edges, but if you took them off, people would probably be like, "Oh wait, this doesn't suck after all."
Yeah, Devil's Third's got like so much technical and audio jank, but man, does it ever have like a solid foundation for like third-person shooter melee action hybrids.
Mm.
Still one of the best LPs we ever did. Holy shit. and deserves more recognition. It's something I've actually kind of thought about in my off time, just between all the stuff that I've like LP'd up to this point, and it's like I think I have basically like two that I look back fondly on the most. Like one is Mad World, and that's more for like the format that I went with and how I kind of realized by the time I posted the first update that like holy shit, this is a winner, because it's actually showing the game in a way that like you would not have gone otherwise if you were just playing it. But then otherwise, I think Devil's Third is the other one that I look back on with the most fondness, if only because I think that's the one LP of mine that deserves like a best of compilation.
I mean, you did turn my opinion on it around, because pretty much everything I'd heard about it was this game is incredibly bad, it's broken, blah blah blah. And by the end of it, I was like, it's not bad, it's just really mediocre.
Yeah, it's very 3 out of 5. And even then, like there were still plenty of moments where I could just like hear the exasperation in your voice of just the dumbest shit piling up near the end.
There were some moments of just like, seriously, you seriously, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's like you can see why that would be most deserving of the best of compilation, because for as short and like the brevity of that whole game is like we're pretty much firing on all cylinders, I feel like, as far as just like between all the fake Russian accents highlighting the stupidity of like certain cutscenes or like gameplay segments that just show up once and then never again.
Yeah. That was one of the most schizophrenic games I've seen in quite some time.
And I would not have it any other way. Well, actually, I would have it another way, and that is like a decompiled PC version with proper mouse and keyboard support. I think that's the only other way that I'd be willing to, like, keep pushing it even harder. Because otherwise, the only options are to just play it on Wii U, which means you're gonna get bad frame rates, or you can play it on emulator, where you get better frame rates, but you get a shit ton of graphical corruption, because that game in Simu seems to hate NVIDIA GPUs. And possibly AMD. It probably just hates everything.
I think it's just built on spite.
It's built on Unreal Engine 3 Spite Edition.
So Unreal Engine 3 then.
No. Spite Edition is exclusive to the Wii U because it was like that, because those games ran even worse on that than even the 360. That's still just so baffling thinking about that.
That was a dark age for gaming.
Yeah. Nah, Devil's Third. Still better than Ninja Gaiden 3, and still probably more palatable than what that trilogy collection's gonna turn out to be.
I mean, it doesn't have Mr. Pickles in it for one thing, so I'm gonna definitely say it's crap.
Yeah. I mean, who couldn't love Mr. Pickles?
R.I.P. Mr. Pickles.
Mm-hmm. God, it's just like, I guess the last thing I have to say about that trilogy collection is that I basically mentioned this in the Discord, where like I had gotten like the info that was implying that dismemberments were not in the review build, and that I was like, I don't think there's ever going to be a HD collection of games that's ever going to be as low as the Silent Hill HD collection. But I think this one's trying its best to give that a run for its money. And I don't know if it's going to succeed, but it's going to get close.
Well, as someone who has played and owns the Silent Hill collection,
I feel so sorry for you.
I got it for 10 quid in a second-hand shop, so it's, just more for the sake of having it.
That's still 30 quid too much, but okay.
So they should have paid me 20?
Yes, absolutely.
Fair enough.
Yeah, take the same approach I have with my donation goal, where it's like, no, pay me for this shit. You're wanting to inflict this psychic damage on me. This is your fault. But yeah, it's like,
at least it was playable.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the trilogy collection will still be playable. It's just gonna be like a bit tough depending what your definition of playable is. But yeah, I don't know. Actually, I guess the only other thing that maybe does top the Silent Hill collection would probably be like that reforged version of Warcraft 3. But that's not really a collection, that's just a single game, and I think that tops it in even more in just absolute dire quality. Because holy shit, that was a fucking moment.
Yeah, I considered getting it because I had, like when it came out, there was like one summer where I just did nothing but play that for the entire summer break.
Yeah.
And then I saw the reviews and I was like, you can put a price in nostalgia, and it's whatever that thing's going for right now.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah,
and it's not worth it.
So, like, literally, like, as low as it ever could on the effort scale. Probably, like, something that's probably only matched by something like Silent Hill HD Collection, or that, well, it didn't technically come out, but it was probably going to lead to it, that Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake that Ubisoft recently decided to delay indefinitely. Because I guess they
delayed indefinitely now.
Yeah, it's basically them realizing, oh fuck, this was a huge mistake.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's like I have like a guy that I know that is like a huge Prince of Persia fan, and specifically, I am not kidding you when I say this, worked like I think like for Microsoft, like in like their Polish like branch or whatever, and was like a big proponent in pushing for Sands of Time to be added to Xbox One's backward compatibility, because he was a huge fan of the Sands of Time trilogy and was like in a position to like work closely with the back compat team for Xbox. So it's like you could basically thank him for that game being playable And only that game, I guess, because I'm pretty sure not many more people would want to play Warrior Within on that, I guess. I don't know. I'm probably still wanting to like play through that trilogy again, just because I feel like I have a habit of taking the good with the bad. And I think at the end of the day, there's still more good than bad in those three games.
But come on, it has the greatest hit of Godsmack.
And
their song "I Stand Alone" was featured in it heavily.
Yeah. Yep. And then some other song that played in the credits that I forget the name of.
Yeah, no.
The fucking edgelord bullshit of that game is like, it's a weird thing where everyone talks of it as being like just so bad, and it kind of is. But the way everyone like talks it up makes it sound like that it's like prevalent in the game for way longer than it actually is. Like you play through that.
It's really just the first third of the game that's like edgelord deluxe.
Yeah, like it's less focused around the prince himself and more around like that girl with the metal thong who keeps hounding you. And like when she goes away, like the game doesn't lighten up, but it instead just, okay, we got rid of the edgelord shit. We took it out of this hole, but we have nothing else to fill the hole, so it's just there.
It's like the first third is, the worst hits of the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, oh, I have fucked up massively. How do I undo all of this?
Yeah, it's like an energy similar to like how people felt about the tonal shift when the Jak and Daxter series went to the second game. Except I feel like even then Jak 2 still fared a little bit better, because when it eased up on the edgelord stuff in some areas, they at least were able to still kind of slip in a little bit of lightheartedness here and there, just as far as like character dynamics and not being so self-serious. It definitely improved a lot more on that front when it got to the third game, which I guess brings it back more into a parallel with Two Thrones, because that was also a similar thing. They got Yuri Lowenthal back to voice the prince. That was the obvious sign.
Yeah, one of the best comments I ever saw about the second game was that it was a self-aware parody, but without the self-aware part.
Yeah, like it had the opportunity to be self-aware once they got rid of Shadi or whoever that chick was after the first third, and it was like they kind of forgot that part.
Wasn't there something we were meant to do? Oh, no. We'll pick it up in the third game if we get that far.
Yeah. Those games are definitely going to be on this channel one of these days.
I haven't played any of them since the PS2 era, so I've completely forgotten what they are.
Yeah, I think it's worth seeing them through to the end, because it's like... I think it's... Because... spitball with me right now, just off the top of your head. When can you last remember like a video game trilogy that actually had like the most appropriate ending ever? Like one that just did not feel like it dropped the ball in like a story context.
Are we talking connected trilogy or just three games that, like the Final Fantasy kind of trilogy?
I'm talking connected trilogy with like the same story, like arc and characters and that.
Well, when you say trilogy, the first one that comes to mind is Mass Effect.
But that clearly doesn't count.
we do not talk about that. We do not bring it up.
No.
Just rocking back and forth. I wasted 5 years of my life on this bullshit.
Oh dear.
Yeah, there's basically none.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that Prince of Persia nails that. Sands of Time Trilogy manages to nail that, which I think is commendable, especially considering the misguided tonal shift of Warrior Within. It actually, I think, because it plays into something that, like, all, like, the first two games clearly got to at a point with, like, the prince's character, which I think you could kind of guess of how it has to do with the fact that he gained the ability to control time and use that to try and fix his mistakes. Like, the trilogy basically ends in the most logical, appropriate way possible for a character who had basically been trying to abuse that power to solve his problems.
Big American Party.
No, definitely not that. But no, I mean, like, it's that. The only other one I think could possibly come close is maybe the Jack and Daxter trilogy somewhat, but that's less from like a solid story dramatical standpoint and more that it has a Wizard of Oz tier like reveal that's used clearly as a joke. And I think it's great for that, but it's a very different vibe from like how the Sands of Time trilogy ends.
Yeah, I'd say I never really played any of the PS2 era collectathons because I was just bored of them by that point.
Yeah, I mean, like the most I could at least say this right now in the case of Jack, because I feel like there's no need to like maintain any sort of like spoilers around that. But it's like the whole reveal of the third game is that like it's been building up as to like this race of people known as the precursors that have effectively created everything, and obviously your main characters are like some blonde-haired kid and his best friend who gets turned into like an orange cross hybrid of an otter and a weasel. And the reveal is that the precursors are just a race of creatures that are just what Daxter turned into.
Weasel people!
Yep, exactly. And it even acknowledges to the point where it's like, dude, if you realized that the most powerful creators of the universe were a bunch of orange furballs, would you even give the time of day to worship us? The answer is no, so obviously we decided to play up the myth and make us more mysterious than we actually are. It's fucking great.
Now, if they were, say, possums, I could get behind that.
Yeah.
An entire race that just communicates in screaming.
Yeah, that would probably explain a lot about how the rest of our world operates.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's just, why does everything feel like I'm internally screaming as the world is falling apart? Cut to the gods literally just screaming as they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I guess that explains this. I guess it does.
Just sitting in a corner screaming and eating trash. God, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Life goal activate.
Yeah. Hey Jack, what's going on? Patio party? Nah, it's some possums drowned in the eco pool. You got any garbage bags?
Well, you just gonna leave it there, or are you gonna eat it? Because I got dibs.
Yeah. Fuck, now I don't even know how to follow up that part. I don't even know how a possum would taste. I'm not even sure if I want to know.
I mean, I've eaten quite a few non-traditional animals, but that's mostly like alligator, deer, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh, this was a... Yeah, this is fun. Oh my god, it's already about 1:30 my time, so... It should probably...
Just after 10:30, yeah.
Yeah, about time to wind this down, give myself a little break, get stuff ready for dinner, clean room, all that stuff before I kick off Jet Set Radio Future proper and just blare as much copyright music as I can, because I've not reached affiliate status yet, so I can just continue just doing this to everything, at least until I start making money and have to sell my soul out. Except not.
Screw you, rules.
Mm-hmm.
Screw the rules. I don't have money.
Yeah, joke's on you. I'm poor as shit.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah. Thanks again for doing this, man.
Anytime. It's always a good laugh doing this.
Yeah. I have no idea when next collab stream, I guess, will even be. It'll definitely be after Steel Battalion's all wrapped up, because next time we do any recording for that, that's going to be for the post game, which I still in the process of slowly like getting all the stuff, the bonuses I need for that unlocked, so I can show it off properly. Oh yeah, and of course the next update for Steel Battalion will be going up this afternoon. More giant robot talk on that end.
As if we talk about anything else on this channel.
Hey, my channel, my rules. I dig giant robots. You dig giant robots. We dig giant robots, obviously. And chicks, I'm pretty sure dig giant robots. If not, then I'm like, just what? Like, can you even call yourself that?
Nice.
Yep. God bless Megas XLR.
I need to watch that again sometime.
I recently started watching it again as well. It still holds up.
Now with 300% more Steve Bloom.
Yeah, it holds up even more, especially when you've become a lot more familiar over the years with the anime that it's clearly taking inspiration from. See if you can quickly find and spot the moment in which Megas XLR fires a wave motion gun from its chest, and said wave motion gun is literally just the front tip of the space battleship Yamato. I lost my shit when I saw that, because it was like, I clearly did not catch that when I was a kid watching it, because I was like, what the fuck's a Yamato? But no, it's like, oh shit, these guys know what's up.
Oh yeah, I got Yamato 2199 a while back on Blu-ray. I need to get round to watching the rest of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely some good stuff to get around to watching, both familiar and new.
Yeah, hopefully by the next time we do something, I'll have actually watched some stuff.
Yeah, same here. It'll be nice to like get through another series again instead of just doing a few episodes then get distracted elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a good night, man.
You too.
Yeah. And then,
later.
Yep. And I'll be back in less than 5 hours or so to just start spray painting cops and the streets of Tokyo later.